Live from Lupin Field in Uptown New Orleans, Crescent City Sports proud to bring you high school football once again this evening. And what a matchup we have on tap as we get into October and Week 6 of the high school football season. It is the opener in District 9-2A, and best we can tell, the only matchup in Louisiana tonight of undefeated teams as the Country Day Cajuns take on the Newman Greenies. And hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder, Lon Elsie with you, Chip Merritt, our producer. Matt Merritt, high up above us here, bringing you all of the pictures this evening, and we are thrilled to be here for this one. I had a chance to see Country Day Week 1 when they made a great second-half comeback to upset the preseason #1 team in the state, A-Meet. You had a chance to see Newman earlier this year in an impressive performance against a 5A school in East Jefferson. I think by all indications, Lon, we're looking at a fairly even matchup this evening, at least on paper, although, as we know, those things don't always happen that way.
Absolutely. Two 5-0 teams, two really, really good head coaches. Nelson Stewart and Joe Chango. Got two really good quarterbacks on both teams. On paper, like you said, the only thing that, maybe you give Newman an edge is the depth. Because Newman's going to, bring a few more guys out there and less two-way players. But Country Day is going to be ready to play. Coach Chango is going to have them ready to play. Hey, it's 5-0 and opening district, and it's going to be a good ball game.
Certainly looking forward to it. You mentioned the quarterbacks, and these two guys, Justin Ibieta of Country Day, terrific numbers on the year, 66% passer, 954 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He also leads the team in rushing with over 400 yards rushing. And you flip the side to Newman, Martin Butcher, the senior, a 64% passer, 1,088 yards on the year, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. You love those TD to interception ratios like that, and they're extraordinary. These guys are both getting college looks. We could very well be seeing both of these guys playing on Saturday down the road.
Yeah, I have seen Martin Butcher twice, once last year, once this year, and I tell you what, he is one of the most accurate passers that I've seen in my 20-plus years around the game of football and high school football. I'm very excited about seeing Justin Ibieta tonight. I've heard some wonderful things about him. Watched him in warm-ups. He looks like he's spot on too. So, I'd love to see a shootout tonight. I really would, because that would be showcasing these two guys.
We saw one last night in our Thursday night telecast in cooperation with Cox Sports Television, the Crescent City Sports Rivalry Series. It went up and down there for a while, and then Slidell drew off in the second half to beat Ponchatoula 59-22. We saw a couple of really good quarterbacks in that game. Of course, Ponchatoula's quarterback, T.J. Finley, the junior, is an LSU commitment, and terrific talent. And it'll be interesting to watch him develop over the next year and a half as he gets ready to head to college. Both teams have taken the field here. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will get you set for kickoff. Country Day and Newman, two 5-0 teams matching up in the district opener. We are looking forward to it. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Thomas Polinar. And the captain for your Newman Greenies is number 9, Liam Rowland. Number 10, Murray Calhoun. Number 12, Martin Butcher. And number 65, Preston Schnapp.
Captain's meeting at the center of the field. We'll have the toss of the coin. Closing in on kickoff as Country Day and Newman face off in this district opener. We talked briefly about the offenses, and they're really, neither team is one-dimensional. Country Day is extraordinary, Lon, in terms of their balance. 960 yards on the ground this year, 954 yards through the air. They average 383 yards per game. Newman a little bit more out of balance, but not much. 728 yards on the ground, 1,142 yards through the air. They average 374 yards per game. So two similar type offenses that are not one-dimensional by any means, and they're going to use all of the weapons that they have.
Yeah, Country Day is going to do a little bit more what we say is an RPO kind of offense, a run-pass option. And so that's why you see it a little more balanced, because the quarterback on every play has the option to pull it out of the running back's belly and throw it, or hand it off, or keep it himself. So Newman, they're going to hand it off most of the time in the zone concept, but if they throw it, they're going to throw it. They will do some RPO, but not quite as much.
Country Day won the toss. They will receive. You don't see as much receiving anymore. You see more people want to defer and get their defenses on the field first, but you know you got the ball for the start of the third quarter. Joe Chango's an offensive guy. He wants the ball in his hands right away. So he will take the football first. We're going to pause here at Lupin Field for the playing and singing of our national anthem. The capacity crowd here coming to their feet. And now from Uptown, our national anthem. Our national anthem on a picture-perfect Friday night for football. The only thing you'd wish, Lon, is fall would show up. Temperatures touching the 90-degree mark today, and it's a warm one. We are now into October, so as it was explained to me last night, the hydration timeouts that we saw in the first 5 weeks, at the end of September, those went away. They can be continued by mutual agreement. We'll have to see if those are indeed happening kind of on a game-to-game basis. And hopefully we finally get some fall weather, but you certainly can't complain about the conditions by any means.
Yeah, it's only mandatory heat and hydration in the months of August and September. But like you said, you are accurate on that if it is warm and the officials and the teams agree to keep doing it, they will. But yeah, that would be icing on the cake for this game. If we had a little nip in the air and a little breeze blowing and everybody was kind of, have some little sweatshirts on in the stands, that would make it really an excellent time.
Will Hardy will kick things off for Newman. Country Day lines up with three across deep. It is Tyler Williams in the middle of the field.
34, Will Hardy. Back to receive the ball for the Cajuns is number 1, Tyler Williams.
Ball is on the tee. Newman in kind of tight formations that they'll run out of just to give themselves a little more of a running start. And toe meets leather. We are underway from Uptown. Kick back to about the 2-yard line, coming back this way. 25, 30, room to run. 35 brought down at the 37-yard line. On the return there was like number 10, Daniel Conwell.
Yeah, great blocking by Country Day's return team. They took it up their sideline, had a nice seal block on the outside, and he hit that sucker running, and in a great field position to start off their first series.
So Country Day gets it and put it at the 38-yard line, so call it a 36-yard return for Conwell. Justin Ivey at a 6'5", 215 pounds, the junior. Works with one back. He will get it right away. That is Nicky Corciani on the carry. He got about a yard, maybe a yard and a half on the play, and the Cajuns will have a second down and about little bit less than 9.
Yeah, the tackle made by number 9, Liam Rowan. I tell you what, he is all over the football field, and he plays defense the right way. He's definitely their leader on the field.
Call it a gain of 1. 2nd and 9, the 39-yard line. Corciani's been getting more of the carries here. When we saw the Cajuns in week 1 against Amite, it was Buckner Hebe who was the primary back. He's been dealing with a hand injury. May seem some tonight. Now Corciani has a little bit of room, but it's closed up quickly. Brought down by Bobby Moore, the linebacker, number 33, right at about the 44-yard line, a gain of 4.
And he's tackled by number 3.
Good run there by Corciani. Got back into some manageable distance here on 3rd down. Country Day, they can do what they want here. They can pull it and throw it. They can run it. Good situation to be in 3rd and 4th.
And as you mentioned, remember, Ibieta is a threat to keep it himself, especially in situations like this where it's 3rd and manageable. 3 wide receivers, 1 in the slot. Ibieta will keep it himself, coming this way, and will get the first down at about the 49-yard line.
There you see Rowan again for Newman, running sideline to sideline. Good read by the quarterback, though. Ibieta knew where he had to go. He knew where the stick was. He got just enough.
Put it at the 50-yard line, a gain of 6. So 3 plays, and Country Day has the first down of the evening.
It looks like Country Day's trying to set the tone a little bit, running the football here, kind of letting Newman know that they're not just going to throw it all over the park tonight.
From the midfield stripe, will be Corciani on the handoff, and he is brought down in the backfield. Well defended that time by the Greenies. Number 42, John Huger, the junior defensive end, comes up and makes the tackle for loss. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be probably the first time that we see Ibieta throw the football. 2nd and 11, they're behind the chains, and they need to pick up something here to have a possibility of picking up that first down.
Ibieta will look to throw. A little flare pass. Corciani breaks a couple of tackles, gets it across the midfield stripe, but it's a gain of only about 2, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
That's Ibieta. To Corciani on the left.
Yeah, Country Days, they're going to have to pick something up here. We got long yardage. Newman's been in a 2 safety look, so they're very aware that Ibieta can throw the ball down the field. Probably going to see the same look by them defensively. But you're going to have to get to the sticks here if you're the receivers for Country Day.
They'll send 2 out wide to the top. That's Christian Becknell and C.D. St. Hilaire, 8 and 2. Down the seam and caught, and room to run for Talbot, the tight end. And he'll get it into the red zone. A big play, the first big play of the night for the Cajuns. We'll get it down to about let's wait for the spot. They'll put it right at the 20-yard line, actually. Said his knee hit back at the 20, a gain of 29 on the play.
Yeah, that was just right up the middle, split the 2 safeties on the RPO. Great read by the quarterback. He put it right on the money.
So first 2 pass attempts for Ibieta, both complete for a gain of 31 yards. From the 20. Well, option this time. Ibieta will keep it himself. He had Corciani out there, but he hung on to it and gets a gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, he was real hesitant there. He couldn't make up his mind. That's the first really bad decision I've seen him make tonight. Didn't really make up his mind what he wanted to do, and when he finally did, Newman was all over him.
Well, one thing to keep in mind with Country Day is they've got a terrific kicker in Andrew Lopez. I saw hit one from 55 in warm-ups tonight, and Joe Chango had told me earlier this year, pretty much if he gets inside the 25, he's thinking field goal. 2nd and 9. Ibieta will roll back to the near side. Stop, look to throw. It is incomplete, just out of the reach of Tyler Williams, the junior wide receiver. He came in with 22 catches and a team-leading 6 touchdowns. He had a big touchdown catch in the 4th quarter of that Amite game.
Yeah, that's one of those throws as a coach when that quarterback throws it back across the field. You kind of close one eye and hope for the best, and it actually was almost an unbelievable throw and catch right there.
So Country Day converted once on 3rd and 9 already. They will look to do it again right here from the Newman 19. 9th play of this opening drive of the night. Ibieta looking. He is going to dump it off in the direction of Corciani. Incomplete. It was over his head as he was about to be taken down in the backfield. And it will be 4th and 9, and we will see the field goal unit.
Yeah, nobody really open there. Newman did a really good job covering everybody up. Tried to dump it off to the running back when he was in trouble. It looks like Coach Chango's not real happy with his decision-making down there on the sideline. But, this kicker they have, come away with 3 on that first drive. That's good stuff.
It'll be a 36-yard try for Lopez, the junior. Snap, kick, on the way, and no good. Wide right.
Wide right. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Country Day there. They had a really good drive and got kind of stalled down in the red zone there. And you'd really love to get 3, especially playing on the road against a good opponent. Tough for that young man, but I'm sure he'll be ready to come back if he's needed again.
Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you tonight by Lamarck Ford in Kenner, the only local dealership in the New Orleans area where you can totally buy online. Go to Lamarck.com. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck and everyone at Lamarck Ford for their support of tonight's broadcast. Heard from Ronnie pregame. He's got us on a nice, large television watching the stream here this evening. Best place to be taking this one in, no doubt, tonight in front of a packed house here uptown. Newman, first offensive play goes nowhere. It's going to be about a loss of 1. As that was T.J. Bush on the opening carry.
Yeah, number 54, Pollinard for Country Day, made the tackle there from his defensive end position.
Pollinard plays both ways. He'll play offensive tackle. You'll also see him on the defensive line. He's second on this team with 23 tackles.
Iron Man football there.
No doubt. You got a lot of them. And Joe Chango does a great job of managing his guys. He rotates a number of guys through these positions, so when he needs them at key spots, he can use them on both sides of the ball. Newman lines up. Stack formation in the near side. Butcher taking a shot downfield, and it is caught. Murray Calhoun, the leading receiver, brings it into Country Day territory at the 45-yard line, a gain of 36.
Yeah, that right there, when you throw that route right there, you're saying my guy's better than your guy. We're going to just throw it up and go get it, and Calhoun did a great job. He's an excellent receiver, Murray Calhoun.
Leads the team coming in tonight with 493 receiving yards. He's actually second in catches. That was his 23rd catch of the year. But he averages 22 yards of reception. You saw why there, as that went for 36. From the 45, second attempt by Butcher is incomplete, intended for the senior wide receiver Tyson Ford. And it's second down 10 at the Cajun 45.
Yeah, just a little quick out route, try to throw there. Good coverage by Country Day. Those routes nowadays in football are just another version of a run, just throwing it in the air.
No doubt.
That's all it is.
All right, we saw 2 running backs last night in Ponchatoula who had as many receiving yards as they had rushing yards. So it's more and more you're seeing that game. More and more you're seeing what we're seeing here tonight. 2 teams who aren't huddling and just calling things at the line of scrimmage. Butcher on second and 10 will give it away, and the Country Day defense steps up once again on the run. T.J. Bush is taken down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, the Country Day front 3, front 4, depending on what look they're in, they're doing a really good job not allowing the Newman linemen to get off those double teams, and it's letting those linebackers really run to the football.
Yeah, you see Pollinard in the end. You talked about him. It's a freshman, Scott Isaacs, lining up at the nose right now. Third down and 10. Butcher is walking over towards the bench for a moment, getting a signal from Nelson Stewart. Now back in the gun. Steps up. He'll look to run. He will get to the first down marker. Didn't have anything to go to downfield, so he put it down and did it with his own legs. Gain of 12.
Yeah, a couple missed tackles by Country Day. They had some guys in position to make the play. Give credit to Butcher there. He did what he had to do, again, knowing where the sticks were.
First and 10, ball at the Country Day 33. Greenies with a couple of first downs on this opening drive. First good run of the night for the running back, T.J. Bush. Gets out near the first down marker. We'll wait for the spot. Right near the 23.
The 23-yard line.
Stoppage apparently to...
we might have answered our question.
Yeah,
pregame.
Exactly. I don't know if we're going to measure this. I believe that's what it is. We're going to get a hydration timeout. And we'll take the break with them here. 5:54 remaining in the first quarter. Each team moving it a little bit here on the opening drive, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard yet. No score between Newman and Country Day here at Crescent City Sports. Greeny's back out on the field, playing 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Third first down of this opening drive. Newman will bunch it to the bottom of your screen with 3 wide receivers. One to the top and Bush alongside Butcher. Give it away. This is Bush on the carry. Got, looked like a couple down to the 21.
That's a handoff to T.J. Bush, and he battles his way down.
Hydration timeout. Help the Cajuns out a little bit. Get them a chance to get their breath and get a little shot of water, kind of slow that Newman drive down, and they stood strong right there.
That's
down at 21. It's 2nd and 8.
I'm sure with Joe Chango's numbers, he was definitely in favor of taking a hydration break here.
100%. Yeah, that's an extra timeout in his pocket.
Ticking under the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Butcher on the slant, popped up in the air. We've got flags on the play. About 3 or 4 guys were trying to flag down the tip pass, and no one came up with it. It's incomplete. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, I think you might get a pass interference here on that slant. If not, maybe a holding by the defensive player for Country Day.
And indeed, it's pass interference against the Cajuns.
Interference on Country Day.
Pretty good coverage there. That's one of those 50-50 calls right there. Could have gone either way. Butcher stuck it in there, put it where it needed to be. Just a little too much contact, and unfortunately half the distance for Country Day.
So it's half the distance to the goal. This is right near the 10-yard line, but I don't believe it's going to be touching the 10. So this is officially going to be at the 11-yard line.
Newman has the ball at the 11, and it's first down.
And so they can get a first down without getting a touchdown here. That's the important part. Now you've got side-by-side in the backfield, and flags are down again, and we're going to get a false start against the Greenies.
Yeah, a few weeks ago when I called the game Newman against EJ, that was one of the things that Newman had a little bit of a problem with earlier in the game was penalties, especially pre-snap penalties. First one tonight, but those are the kind of things as a coach you really hate to see, especially when you're in the red zone, and now instead of 1st and 10 at the 11, now you got to add 5 yards to that. So
first and 15 at the 16. Some will tell you having a little more space to operate when you get down in the red zone isn't the worst thing in the world, especially when you want to throw the football. See what the Greenies go to here on 1st and 15. Again, now they will show that 2-back set. Butcher coming back this way on the slant. It is caught by the wide receiver, Jermone Sutherland.
Butcher's pass.
Every pass they've thrown tonight, if I'm not mistaken, has been to the offense's right. Film study must have shown them something on that side of the ball in the secondary. That they might have some opportunities there, and what you've seen is they've thrown it on that side pretty much every time.
Call it a gain of 8 on the play to the 8. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Greenies. This is the 9th play of the drive coming up. We have a stoppage here. Is that a sideline warning against Newman?
So the next one, if it happens, is going to be they're going to throw a flag, and it's going to be penalty yards.
What's interesting there is you get that call. Normally you see that call when there's play going on in the bench area, or maybe an official gets going down the play, hits somebody or
Right.
whatever. That's where you have a tendency to see it, not when you're way down at one end of the field. Butcher, quick pass, far side, caught, and in for the touchdown. That was John Charbonnet, the sophomore, who just carried Country Day defenders into the end zone for the 8-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was, again, some great effort by that young man, but some poor tackling by Country Day. They had 3 guys there to make that tackle and force a third down, and that Newman receiver, he wasn't going to be denied that goal line, and great job by him getting it in the end zone.
This will be Will Hardy to try the extra point.
Is number 34, Will Hardy.
With Butcher to hold. 9 plays, 80 yards. It took 3 minutes, 51 seconds. And Newman, on their opening drive of the evening, gets 7 and leads this game by the score of 7-0. I think the tone setter, Lon, was that 36-yard pass to Calhoun on that second play of the drive. Country Day stuffed the run on first down, and they were facing second and long, and they got one-on-one coverage out here on the near side and popped the play for 36, and that's what really got that opening drive in motion.
Oh, absolutely. And you could say the same for Country Day in their opening drive. They hit the pass down the seam to number, who was that?
That was Talbot, number 9.
Yeah, Talbot. And that, unfortunately, they bogged down in the red zone, whereas Newman took advantage of the situation, and that's how we have the score 7-0 here. Country Day really needs to keep that defense off the field. And I know that's a little different here because they have a lot of guys playing both ways, but they need to do something here offensively because at home, Newman, if they start getting up and getting a little rowdy, it could not be good for the Country Day Cajuns.
One thing we've learned early on this year about Joe Chango coach teams is they can definitely come from behind. That's going to be a little squibber down the middle of the field there, coming back this way.
That's a hold.
And you see the flag come in, as Lon said, holding. We got another flag.
You're going to have a late hit out of bounds.
And let's see how this works. Are they going to have to re-kick because one was during the return, one was after the return? They might enforce them both.
If one was during the play and one's post
live and dead ball,
then they're going to mark 10 from the spot of the hold and then 15 from there on the personal foul.
Which may end up, because the hold happened further up the field, might be about a net 0 on this.
Right,
so.
it might be right where it was when it all was over with.
We'll wait for the signal here. It is holding against Country Day.
The first penalty is holding against Country Day.
And then dead ball, personal foul against Newman.
Personal foul against
And they will walk off the first penalty from the 27-yard line back to the 17. And then we'll turn around and go back the other way 15 yards to the 32-yard line.
And then when they mark off the dead ball,
maybe the 31. No, put it down at the 32.
Which was right about where he was when he got hit out of bounds. So no harm, no foul, as they say.
So Country Day takes over on offense here with 3:56 remaining in the first quarter from the 32-yard line. Cajuns will operate empty here. Ibieta will put it down, look to run with. That might have even been a design run, but Newman got some really good pressure in the backfield right there, and Ibieta might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Country Day only has 10 men on the field.
Maybe that's why it was an empty backfield right
He ends up gaining 1 yard.
They're missing a player. It's 2 came on, 1 came off. Yep.
So now second down 10, ball at the 32-yard line. After Ibieta might have lost about a foot on that play. He'll look to throw the slant this time, incomplete. Quite the hit by the strong safety, Eli Abramson, as it was intended for C.D. St. Hilaire, the junior wide receiver.
Yeah, Abramson read that RPO really well. When as soon as Ibieta pulled that out of the running back's belly, he came up hard on that slant and did a great job. It was not the greatest throw, but great job by him breaking it up.
Where you at, Greenies? It's 3rd down.
So 3rd and 10 here at the 32. Country Day went 2 of 3 on 3rd down on the opening drive. Ibieta will move the pocket, throw back across his body. Like you said, that can be dangerous. They were looking for an interference call. Christian Becknell thought there might have been some contact there at about the 37-yard line, but no flag, and it'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah, I don't think that was very similar to the call that Newman got in their drive. A lot of contact there, but referees deemed it that it was same time the ball arrived, and now we got a punt.
Lopez is going to handle the punting. This is
back to punt for the Cajuns.
Changed since we saw the Cajuns in week 1 when Ibieta did the punting himself. Sutherland is deep. Lopez now is going to put it down and run. Now he's going to punt. Thought he was going to take off with it. And this will roll, and a Newman player might have touched it at the 25-yard line. I'm not sure. Let's see. It's down to the 20. Which way are they going to call the ball? No signal yet. Well, it's a muff anyway. You couldn't advance it, but they'll say it's Newman's football at the 20-yard line. So it'll go officially as a 48-yard punt. That's one. You never know what you're going to see with a Joe Chango coach team there. That was, rugby style where it looked like he might be taking off and just running with it there.
Well, I think he has that option. I honestly do, that when he starts to run out there to kick it, if he sees green grass up to the chains, that he has the option to pull it down and run. But, there was a little bit of resistance out there by Newman. He punted, and he flipped the field position.
Yeah,
Great job.
And, of course, they ruled it. It's Newman's football. Did the Greenie player touch the football at the 25-yard line? If so, it would have been Country Day's ball. But anyhow, the Greenies have it at the 20. That's where they started their opening drive. See what they can do here. They'll give it away on 1st down. That will be T.J. Bush, who will get about 3 on 1st down.
Getting close to the 23-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Interesting to see if Newman tries to hit a big play again like they did in the first series, or if they're just going to pound it a little bit, try to wear down Country Day.
You mentioned the numbers. You look at these rosters, and Newman's roster is probably twice the size of Country Day's just in terms of numbers. Now, of course, all of those guys aren't going to play. But just you talk about the depth and the number of two-way players, and that's the difference. This is coming this way on the swing pass. T.J. Bush on the catch and run out to about the 36-yard line where it's going to be a 1st down.
Yeah, I think the numbers come into play in 2 ways. On game night, from a stamina standpoint, but in practice time, the amount of time you get to prepare, because you have to share. You have to share the players.
From the 36. This is the keeper by Butcher going to the far side, and he will run out past the 40. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like at the 43-yard line.
Near the 44-yard line.
And Butcher's a guy who's only got 45 yards rushing on the year, but he clearly has shown it that he can put it down and go with it. He gained 7 there. It's 2nd down 3 at the 43.
Yeah, he runs when he has to. He's not a dual threat quarterback, as they say. But if he needs to run it, he's a good enough athlete that he can get you yards.
Butcher on 2nd and 3. Looks far side, caught. 1st down, Greenies out past the midfield stripe.
Calhoun on the left side. He's past the 50.
And that was Calhoun on the catch there. 2nd catch of the night. Gets it out to the Country Day 49, a gain of 8. So Newman on the move once again. Butcher will keep it once again. 45, out near the 40-yard line. He'll get stood up there. And that's a good 1st down play that they're getting there with Butcher running the football. He had 7 on the previous play. He gets 8 there. Now it's 2nd and 2, and that really opens things up in the playbook.
Yeah, but if you see what they did with the receivers, they stacked them wide, which means they took the outside linebacker and removed it, and then that's an easy pull for the quarterback. There's nobody there to defend.
Now on 2nd and 2, Butcher will dump it out in the flat. This is Bush on the run down to about the 25-yard line, and That is another Newman first down.
Same play they ran a couple plays ago. Referees missed a holding penalty right there. The number 14 was holding the Country Day defender and didn't get the call there.
You see it right there on the replay. May have been a little bit of grabbing going on there, but nonetheless, Newman is on the move once again. They went 80 on their first possession, started this possession at the 20 again, and they're already at the Country Day 25 after 6 plays. Butcher will work just about exclusively out of the gun this evening. Once again, it's Bush on the catch. He is dragging a couple of Country Day defenders with him right near the first down sticks. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like it's short of the first down, gain of 9.
What Newman's doing is very simple. They're taking what the defense is giving them. The way Country Day is lining up, they know exactly where they're going to be, and they're taking advantage of it.
First quarter in the books here. Newman on the move, looking to add to a 7-0 lead. Back with more after this. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Folks, don't forget about the barbecue truck right outside the gate there in case you're getting the rumblies. They'll be happy to help you out. At halftime, we have the Newman and NOLA gymnastics team. They're going to put on a special performance for us. Be sure that you're here for that.
Unofficially, Newman with 137 yards in the first quarter to Country Day's 43. Greenies with a 7-0 lead and knocking on the door to add on more right here.
TJ Bush is right behind him.
And Butcher went under center that time, looking to sneak it, and I'm not sure he got it. That was well defended by the Cajuns.
He was hit immediately.
Yeah, they tried to get a little quick count there. They've done that before. Saw that a few weeks ago when it covered the game. Yeah, he's going to be short. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Might have even lost something there. So it's 3rd down. This might be a full yard to get. The line to gain is the 15-yard line. Ball right out about the 60 now. Now the Greenies will go back to the gun, and it will be Bush in the sidecar alongside Butcher. He'll get the handoff. A little bit of room to run, takes that crease and falls forward to about the 13-yard line. First down, Greenies.
Yeah, just some inside zone running play, hit the ball hard. You like to see that on a short yardage, you know, a running back who's just going to hit it in there hard, knowing he only needs a yard, rather than kind of tiptoe and be patient. You want to just slam it up in there and get what you can get and get the first.
Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Riverlands Insurance in Luling, meeting all your insurance needs. Call Riverlands at 1-800-336-4579 or go to rivins.com. Officially at the 14-yard line. Butcher rolling, completing, and Tyson Ford on the catch gets near the sticks again. So
Tyson Ford, he's inside the 10, near the 7-yard line.
What's interesting to me here, Lon, is the success that Newman is having on first down, and they're really setting themselves up to keep their options open in the playbook when they're getting 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 1.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sure, anytime you can stay ahead of the chains is beneficial to you as an offense.
And that is a touchdown, Newman. Murray Calhoun on the catch.
For a touchdown.
Just a simple curl route. You know, nothing fancy. Just turned it up right there in the end zone, and he zipped it right in there.
And I believe we have a flag down. Let's make sure. I think they caught Country Day.
Too many men on the field.
Perhaps too many men on the field, and clearly they went quickly on them.
Yeah, Country Day tried to sub 3. I saw 3 going on, and one was a little late getting off. Couldn't see from our perspective in the box if he was able to get off the field.
Yeah, it is illegal substitution against the Cajuns, so the play will stand.
Touchdown, Newman.
And that's one that you can take on the kickoff, the ensuing kickoff. So they'll be kicking from a few yards further up the field.
It's 10 plays, 80 yards. It takes 4 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock. And the Greenies have now scored touchdowns on each of their first 2 possessions to make this 13-0 with the point after pending. Will Hardy for the try. And stoppage before we can get it underway. Flags down. It's a false start against Newman. So this extra point just got 5 yards longer.
Yeah, again, probably in the grand scheme of things, not going to affect the result of this. Most of the time won't. But again, those pre-snap penalties, which are complete mental penalties, not physical penalties, those are the ones that get under your skin as a football coach.
And look, Newman has missed 9 extra points this year. They've also scored a lot of touchdowns, so they've had a chance to kick a lot. But that's a lot of extra points. Hardy's kick is good. So no issue there, and it's a 14-0 game with 10:19 remaining here in the first quarter. Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Lamarck Ford in Canada. Our state-of-the-art 30,000 square foot collision center fixes all makes and models and is one of the only local facilities to do aluminum bodywork. And go to Lamarck.com to learn more. And again, our thanks to Lamarck Ford for their sponsorship of tonight's webcast. Matchup of 2 undefeated teams, the District 9 2A opener for both clubs, and so far it has been all the team in green. Newman 14, Country Day nothing.
Yeah, right now, what we're seeing in the first quarter plus is the difference in the game right now is up front. Newman's fronts on offense and defense are playing better and being a little bit more physical than the fronts for Country Day because they're able to run, they're able to throw. And on the flip side, Country Day's having a little trouble keeping the penetration out, keeping the rush away from the quarterback. So right now, the difference is the lines for the Newman Greenies.
We'll see the adjustments that get made on both sides as we go. Line drive kick will go into the end zone for a touchback, and Country Day will start this possession at the 20-yard line. And I mentioned earlier, Lon, now keep in mind, Country Day's 2 most impressive wins this year, at home against Amite, at home against St. Charles Catholic. They were both 1-point games, but in both of those games, Joe Chango's team was down double digits and came back. Down double digits late and came back. So
it's first down.
A lot of time left. A lot of time left.
And look, if anybody is great at in-game adjustments, it's the coach on the near sideline here. This will be Ibieta. They will run the option and room to run and a first down out to about the 34-yard line. That was Corciani on the carry. Nicky Corciani, the senior, 407 yards on the ground. Gets 15 on the play out to the 35-yard line.
Much more decisive on that option play by Ibieta than the first time he ran it in the red zone. Held it as long as he could. Made the defensive end commit, pitched it out, big game.
At the 35, Ibieta will keep it this time, and that is well defended right there by Josh Capel. The defensive tackle, 17 tackles and 3 sacks on the season for the sophomore, and it's a loss of 1.
Design run for the quarterback, just really was nothing there. Newman stuck it up pretty good.
Second down and 11.
So 2nd and 11 at the 34. Cajuns will operate with 3 wide receivers. Talbot lined up as a slot tight end, and Corciani in the backfield. Corciani will get it this time. Running to the strong side. Might have got about 5 on that one. It'll be Third and manageable here, third and about 6. Best third down situation really Country Day's faced in a while.
Yeah, I mean it definitely, third and 6 or less. That's definitely manageable down there. Still have the option to run it. Maybe come back to that little speed option they ran earlier. Maybe a little RPO here. And the RPO will only work is if they have a threat of a run. And here you still do in a 3rd and 6.
Cajuns put 2 wide to the top of your screen, and it's Becknell to the bottom. Ibieta will keep it, and that is well defended once again by the Greenies. Newman has done a terrific job of dealing with the running game of Justin Ibieta so far.
Yeah, and that's what I said earlier. Up front, Newman's winning the battle. And that's kind of the difference of where we are right now. Is Country Day going to go for it?
Well, keep in mind now, Ibieta can punt, so
right?
He does punt, so he could be back there.
A little quick kick.
Exactly. And now it looks like Newman is going to expect just that, and Newman is going to actually call timeout.
Yeah, Coach Stewart came running down the sideline. He wasn't happy with that. The punt return team coming on the field.
Well, you had the substitution there, and Country Day still had the offense out there. So that's one of those things where it becomes a read situation for Justin Ibieta, and I'm sure that if they stay in that situation, that you can certainly
looks like
go and run a play. And now they're going to talk about this.
Yeah, Coach Chango called his punt team in to the huddle, and a lot of times coaches will do that, a little cat and mouse. Put the offense and the punt team. So Newman's coaches next door to us in the booth don't really know what Country Day's doing. They can't tell them what's going on down here. So that's a lot of time. That's just mind games that coaches play. But every defense in that situation, if the offense stays on the field, you just go punt safe. You don't even have to put anybody back. Just play your regular defense. If he punts it, he punts it. And, you might get some not so great field position, but you also don't risk them, going for it, and now your punt return team's on the field.
No, and Ibieta is still in the game, but again, he does punt, and he is lined up in punt formation right here.
Country Day is in punt formation, but that's Ibieta D.
Ibieta takes the snap, and he will indeed kick it away, and it's a good one. It will bounce out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. There is a flag on the near side at the 42-yard line. Let's see what that is about. It looks like it's going to go against the Greenies. Perhaps it was a hold.
Is post-possession. As soon as the ball crosses the line, possession is changed. So it will be
from the spot of where the play ended at the 22. If it had been caught and returned, it would have been from the spot of where the punt was caught.
Correct.
And this is going to back Newman up here.
Definitely their worst field position of the night after this.
Although they've worked well from it thus far. They started the first 2 drives at the 20 and went 80 yards both times. This one's going to get backed up, it appears, waiting for a signal. We haven't gotten any kind of indication yet. We get a holding call, but they haven't marked anything off. Everyone is still standing at the 22-yard line. Now we'll get it marked off. Looks like they're actually going to mark it from the 23
be half the
and
distance.
Put it down at the 13-yard line.
Oh, no, 10-yard penalty. No, 10 yards, right, 23.
So Newman takes over with 7:54 remaining in the half and a 14-point lead. The ball at the 13-yard line.
See
Butcher with 2 touchdown passes on these first 2 possessions. And again, like you talked about, Lon, they're getting their receivers out wide. And they will give it away to the running back, and it's well defended that time by the Cajuns. That was Bush on the carry, got about 2 to the 15.
Yeah, what they're trying to do there is widen out the defensive players, and it's really helped them in the run game. Now, Country Day did a good job stopping that one for a short game. But it's 100% to help them out in the run game and take those outside linebackers even wider and give them more options in the run game.
So officially call it 2. It looks like it was only about 1, but the ball's at the 15-yard line. Now Butcher on play action tries to throw the slant, batted up in the air and incomplete. That was very dangerous.
Yeah, another RPO. Newman doesn't do a whole lot of it, but they did it there. Tried to hit that quick little slant. Again, just like a running play. That's one of the worst situations on third down Newman's had tonight too. 3rd and 9, behind the chains a little bit. And,
believe it or not, they've had a 3rd and 1, and they had a 3rd and 10 on the opening drive when Butcher kept it for 12. See what they look to do here on 3rd down and a long 8. Butcher down the seam. It is batted away and incomplete. Nice defensive play right there by the safety, Tyler Williams, who you saw on offense. He's a terrific wide receiver as well, but he's also got 21 tackles, and he returned a fumble for a touchdown earlier this year against Bonneville.
No, that was a great play by number 1. I mean, he was right there in his hip pocket, got the inside hand up to knock it down, didn't interfere. Big stop for Country Day right there, and they're going to get some field position out of it. Got a chance to get it out around midfield here, as we'll get our first look at the punter, Rivers Singley. What you want to do is set up a return here. You don't want to go after it, give him a first on a roughing the punter.
And that's not a very good kick there. Kicked low, and
it
will roll out of bounds right at the midfield stripe.
You called it. You said midfield right there.
Right at midfield.
So Country Day will take over with exactly 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of play. Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction.
So, we've talked a little bit about heat and hydration tonight, and I know it's supposed to be around the 6-minute mark, but to me, you should have it right here, right at the beginning of this series, and don't stop a drive when you do it.
I agree, and I'll get into that in a minute after this first down play. Nice pass from Ibieta to Becknell, and that will be out near the first down, about a yard short. Gain of 9.
It's short the first down.
I've had the chance over the last few years to do quite a few games and with dealing with a number of different officials association, even gone into Mississippi a couple of times to televise games where you're meeting with officials and asking them about the timeouts and how they're treating the hydration breaks and such. 2nd and 1 here at the 41-yard line. Ibieta again on the crossing pattern, caught first down. This was Tyler Williams. You just saw him make the great defensive play. Now he makes a terrific catch and run for a gain of 13 to the 28. Country Day going with a little tempo right here.
Yeah, that was the exact same play, just the other way. They ran it to the right side first, and they came back and ran it to the left side. So, like you're saying, Coach Chango's seeing something. And it looks like Tyler Williams down a little bit right here after that hit.
And this would be a time that you could take your hydration break if you wanted to with 6:20 on the clock. But it was interesting to hear there's different interpretations depending on which association you deal with. You see here in New Orleans, they will pretty much stop it at the 6-minute mark. Okay, there's plays in progress. I was treated like a 2-minute warning almost, although you run the clock. It's a if the clock was running and then you hit 6 minutes, then you run the clock as soon as you resume play. But I've been to places where they were not going to stop a drive. They were going to wait till the drive ended to take it. They were not going to take it if a team was inside the 30-yard line. They didn't want to give the defense a free timeout when a team was driving down deep. So it's a lot of different interpretations depending on the association you deal with in terms of how to deal with it.
And, unless they've changed the rule or the reading of the rule, going back to my days of going to those rules committee meetings, that is part of the rule. Do not stop a drive and give a team an advantage. That's in that. And again, they might have changed it in the last 2 years, but that is my understanding of the rule.
On 1st and 10, Ibieta looking. No one there. He will throw now, and it's caught. That is Becknell on the catch inside the 20-yard line, out close to the first down marker. And we've got a flag back at about the 22-yard line. Let's see what that is all about. Could that be a man downfield? It is.
Yeah.
That's what, you see that a lot, obviously. Ibieta was extending the play, and you'll see that sometimes. You get that clock in your head if you're an offensive lineman, right, Lon? You're going to keep in there for a few seconds, and then you're not. After a while, you're just going to go where the play takes you.
Yeah, and when the quarterback starts running, you might think that he's scrambling, and he's going to run, but I tell you what, I've said that the Newman was winning the line of scrimmage. That was great protection by Country Day's offensive line right there. I mean, he had a long time to throw that football.
So make it 1st and 15 at the 33-yard line after the 5-yard penalty wiped out the 9-yard catch by Becknell. And perfect pass by Ibieta Corchiar. Check that. That's St. Hilaire could not bring it in, and it's 2nd and 15.
Yeah, just started running before he had it, you know. Can't run with it unless you have it tucked away, and he just didn't tuck that away. He didn't look it in, tuck it away, and now we're in 2nd and 15.
And I think this is a situation, if you're Joe Chango, three would be nice, but 7's way more important right here. You want to try to make this a one-score game.
That's tough, you know. Are you in 4-down territory? I think a lot of it's going to be dependent on where they are with the sticks, if they go for it or not. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option at this point.
And stoppage here. One of the back officials coming in to talk to the referee, and now they'll get it ready to play. We didn't get a stoppage there, so perhaps that injury at the 6:20 mark served as the hydration timeout.
Well, and good for the referees doing that. You know, that's smart. That's smart on their part to incorporate both of them together.
Now they wound the clock, which they shouldn't have done. It was an incomplete pass, so they may have to reset the clock here. I think it was at 5:39.
Yeah.
And they'll get together and talk about it. Unfortunately, I don't think the ref has a mic here in the stadium, so I don't know if he can communicate to the booth very easily. They've reset it, though, to 5:39. They got it right. Okay.
Well, you got two veteran officials in that box running the clock tonight.
So here we go in 2nd and 15. Give it away to Corciani. He put the ball on the ground, but was he down first? They're going to call him down. Just inside the 30-yard line at the 29, it'll be a gain of 4.
That's a good call by Coach Chango. You needed to get something positive right there. You know, another incomplete pass really put you in a bad situation. But it also kind of tells me this might be 4-down territory.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is that kind of call right there suggests 4-down territory.
Yeah.
It really does. That you're gonna try and use 3 plays to get to 15 instead of 2.
You got to keep this as close. Like you said, they've come back, but you got to keep this as close as you possibly can.
Remember, Newman gets the ball to start the second half, and I believe Newman may have called the timeout here.
Delay a game.
Or did they get a delay a game?
Yep.
Cajuns took too much time on that one, and it's a delay.
I saw Nelson Stewart running over to the linesman there. I thought he was asking for a timeout, but he was pointing out the clock had reached 0. So a delay a game penalty now makes it 3rd and 16.
Country Day shooting themselves on the foot down here close. You know, they had it down on inside the 30, and now we're going backwards a little bit. So
from the 34, Ibieta trying to keep it alive. Now will fire, and that is incomplete. It was intended for Tyler Williams.
Knocked down by number 11.
See, now it's tough. 4th and 16. That's a tough call to go for it, but you really, I mean, I know you said you saw the kicker hitting him pretty deep in pregame, but I mean, you're talking about a let's 53-yard field goal right here.
And he's ready to go out there, but they're not sending him out. Remember this big rule difference in high school than what you see in college and pro. If you miss that field goal right there, the ball goes to the 20-yard line.
Correct.
So it can act like a punt.
Absolutely.
But I think in this situation, you're going for this right here. I think you got to find a way to keep this alive to get 7. Coming off the edge, Ibieta's got pressure. Will let it fly. Has a man down there. Incomplete. No flag.
Wow. I cannot believe that flag was not thrown. That was, he missed that one.
And you get another look at it there. That was double coverage on Becknell. It might have just been 2 guys playing the ball there, Lon. I know there was contact, but 2 guys might have been playing the ball right there.
Yeah, it was hard for me to see. I was a little obstructed.
And Joe Chango is giving the men in stripes an earful right now, and you can understand why if you're on the Country Day sideline.
Tough. You know, we've seen a a PI already tonight. Again, I was my view was a little distracted with the press box configuration here, so tough call.
So Newman takes over at the 34, 1st and 10. It's Bush alongside Butcher with 4 wides, 2 to each side. Butcher will take a shot downfield on 1st down. He's got a man with room to run. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Tyson Ford came in with 44 yards receiving on the year. He got 66 on one play.
66 yards for 6 points.
Just went right down the seam there, Alon.
Yeah, just a vertical route. He made a little outside move on the defender at close to the line and just ran right by him. And like I said in the pregame, Butcher, he's as accurate as I've seen. And that ball, he hit him in stride. I mean, there was no doubt that was going to be a big play. And yeah, what a turn of events right there, huh?
No doubt. That's 2 very big plays. You had the potential for a pass interference call that didn't come on 4th down that could have put the Cajuns in the red zone. Maybe put them in position for a 1-score game. First play after the change of possession, Newman goes 66 yards on the pass from Butcher to Ford.
Yeah, I mean, you had possibility. That's a 14-point swing possible right there. Not getting the PI and then the big play down here. And then Country Day gets 12 men on the field just now right before the kick. So I don't think that can be assessed, but on the kickoff.
Party's kick is up.
Kick is good, and that will make it a 21-0 game with 4 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the first half. Well, I'm a little surprised right here. I really am. A lot of football still to be played, but Newman has delivered the first 3 punches here.
Yeah. Now Country Day hasn't helped themselves. They've made some mistakes when they've had some opportunities. You really see what kind of team this is. I know Coach Chango is going to stay on them and expect the best out of them as we continue on. Like you said, they go down and score here. Things change a little bit, but right now it's looking real good for the Newman Greenies.
Newman came in to this with a 17-game regular season winning streak. The last time Newman lost a regular season game was 2 years ago in Old Metairie, Week 8 to Country Day.
Number 1, Tyler Williams is back in the game, receiving the ball deep for the Cajuns.
So Newman will kick it off for the 4th time this evening. This will be Tyler Williams from the 10, 20, 30, looking to make a couple of men miss. Still on his feet, will finally go down at about the 32-yard line.
Finally brought down near the 33-yard
Decent field
line.
position for Country Day. Now, what they had, the most important thing they need to do on this drive is they cannot get behind the sticks, because that's when they've really not been able to execute and things have stopped for them offensively. When they've had positive plays on a regular basis in the series and gotten manageable down and distance, they've had success. Penalties, loss of tackles for loss, things like that, and then the offense is kind of broken down at that point. So that's the important issue in this drive right here.
Empty backfield. Ibieta will run the quarterback draw, and still moving, will get about 6 on 1st down.
And that's fine. That's a great call right there. Spread them out, get positive yards. And that's what they need to do. Move the chains. Not a big play. You can't get 21 on one play. Yep. That's what you got to tell your kids.
But it would be big to get 7 before you head to the locker room right here.
Absolutely, 7 would be huge.
From the 38, they'll play 2nd down 4, and once again, no one in the backfield alongside Ibieta. It'll be Talbot at that wing position, and then 2 to each side. Ibieta fires, caught, room to run. That is Becknell. Down to about the Newman 45-yard line.
Just another little curl route right there. Found the hole. Ibieta found where he was, zipped it in there. And that's 2 good positive plays. And but the Country Days had issues keeping that going on their first 2 or 3 series, and see if they can keep it going as they get into the plus side of the field.
Gain of 16, ball at the Newman 46.
The ball's at the 46.
Third time tonight, Country Day has been on the Newman side of the 50 and got nothing to show for it. Looking to capitalize here before we head to the locker room. 3:20 left before halftime. Ibieta throws. I think that's a great catch, and it is.
That's an unbelievable catch.
Becknell toe tapped, and before he went out of bounds, they're going to put it at the 35-yard line, a gain of 11.
Wow. Great throw and catch right there. Well, we had 2 good quarterbacks here tonight, don't we?
Don't doubt. No doubt. And guys that can make all the throws as well and do other
and
things.
kids who can catch. I mean, you know,
Yep.
the receivers on both sides are catching the football.
So from the Greeny 35-yard line, back-to-back first downs off of catches by Christian Becknell. The senior came in with 25 catches on the night. Ibieta will keep this with basically just a quarterback sweep. He'll get 2.
Yeah, Newman's playing a little game with him on defense on that zone read, and they're giving him a pull read, and he really should be handing it off. But because of what they're doing with the end and the outside linebacker, it's giving him a read look, and he's pulling it, but there's 2 guys sitting out there on him. So they're going to have to see that at halftime and try to fix that.
Make some adjustments.
Yeah.
Are they just? You hear talk about rolling coverage when you deal with the secondary. Is that basically what they're doing there? They're rolling people to the side where he's going to run the ball.
Well, what's happening is they're taking the defensive end and really slanting them hard.
That is another catch and another first down. That's St. Hilaire on the catch. Put it down to about the 20-yard line.
They're slanting them hard to the direction the back is going. So it makes it look like the end is chasing, but they're taking the inside backer and scraping him outside, and nobody can get up on him, and it's giving him a pull read, and then the backer's sitting there waiting on him.
So Country Day on the move here as the clock closes in on 2 minutes here remaining in the second quarter at the 20-yard line. Run the option this time. Ibieta will keep it and get stood up at about the 17-yard line.
He should have pitched that one right there. The running back had a little more room out there, and he's probably a little bit better athlete than the quarterback is. I think I would have pitched that one and maybe get out of bounds, stop the clock, conserve some time a little bit. But
Country Day has all 3 timeouts remaining.
And he still picked up 3. He got positive yards, and that's, like I said at the beginning, that's the key to this one right here, is this drive. They had to stay ahead of the chains on this drive.
Yeah, stay on schedule. Don't force yourself in a situation where you have to do.
Left to go. Country Day has 3 timeouts.
Coming up at halftime, special visit, Ken Trahan with Ronnie Lamarck. That is caught and dropped. What's the call?
Incomplete.
They're calling an incomplete pass.
Boy, that was a
right at the goal line. That was intended for Becknell, I believe, on this side.
Yeah,
looking through double windows to see that. But it's it looked like, it was just one of those kind of strange plays there. As you get another look at it, couldn't tell if he caught and made a football move and then fumbled it.
I think it was incomplete, but another great throw. And as good a catch as the one was before that Becknell made, that's one he should have made right there.
3rd and 7, 17-yard line. 83 seconds to play in the half. Ibieta looking, finds a man, caught inside the 10, first down.
Well, the protection has been fabulous.
St. Hilaire on the catch.
Credit the Country Day offensive line right now. They are protecting that quarterback. I mean, he's just kind of standing back there, just waiting to find somebody to throw the football to.
So it's 1st and goal at the Newman 8, and Country Day uses its first timeout with 1:17 remaining in the half. I mentioned special visit coming up at halftime. Ken Trahan earlier this week had a chance to catch up with Ronnie Lamarck of Lamarck Ford, our sponsor of tonight's webcast, and we will have that for you coming up at half. Plus, we'll catch you up on some stats. We'll catch you up on scores around the area on our Crescent City Sports Scoreboard, presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. So stay right there. A lot to do at halftime.
So you got 1:17 left right here. You got the ball 1st and goal on the 8. The playbook's open. You got 2 timeouts in your pocket. You got anything you want to do here, you can do. run the ball, throw the ball. The option's been a little bit successful. Quarterback run, they've kind of been shutting that down a little bit. Maybe a little rub route right here if Coach Chango's got that in his repertoire. But you don't have to score right here on this play. Take your time, get in a good play. Get quarterback feels some pressure. Hopefully in the huddle just now you don't throw it away. Don't take a sack and get behind the chains again. So a lot of options here for the Country Day Cajuns.
Ibieta on the run. Not much room to run as he went to the right side. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down.
Yeah, it was hard to tell if that was a pass or if it was a design run. But if it was a design run, he needs to just go. Just take off and run, and don't hesitate trying to find a hole. Just put your head down and get as much as you can get.
So no gain on the play. Second and goal at the 8. Cajuns are going to take a little time here, and I like that. I love that call right there. You'd love to score with 000s on the clock if you can. Ibieta keeps. And faked it to the back and ran up the middle to about the 5 where it'll be third and goal. Now if you're Joe Chango, maybe you're calling timeout.
Yeah, I'd take one right here. Absolutely. Regroup, because this is third down. This is a huge play right here. You definitely need to regroup and see what you can get. I've always say this, like right now, and this is a kind of situation, you're down 3 touchdowns. Every coach goes into a game with 2 or 3 2-point plays, something you've been practicing possibly for weeks that you think is going to be successful in that situation. This might be a time to pull one of those out because you need to get a touchdown here. And you're on the 5, so, a 2-point plays from the 3, most of the ones you have are going to be applicable to the 5-yard line. That's something. If you got one that you like and it's not say a trick play, but a little bit of razzle-dazzle to it, I'd pull it out of your pocket right here because you got to get it.
Saw Philly special in the Holy Cross Jesuit game last Friday night.
Yeah,
that seems to be the new gadget play du jour.
Absolutely, three years ago when I was coordinating the offense at Holy Cross, we had a similar play in because that's right when somebody used it. I don't remember what college it was, but it was can't remember, somebody on the West Coast, I believe. But there's so many variations you could do to that same play.
Look what you got here. Now you got Country Day lining up in the eye in a tight formation, and they'll throw to this side to Beck now, and it is waiting for a signal. Still in C1, caught for a touchdown. They lined up in a big formation in the eye with Talbot at the fullback, and you're going to get another look at it here, but a great catch. They just got one-on-one there on the outside, and Becknell with a great catch. Just got the foot down.
Again, Ibieta put it on the money, and again, you got a big receiver. I mean, throw it up to him. Why not? Take your chance. You still got 4th down if you need to do something else. Throw the ball up to him.
So a huge possession there for Country Day. 11 plays, 68 yards, 3 minutes, 54 seconds. The kick by Lopez is good, and we've got a 21-7 game with 23 seconds left in the first half.
Well, you got a little emotion down on the Country Day side. Something good happened, and when something good happens, then you get excited again.
And look, let me clarify something that I said there. I said Newman gets the ball to start the second half. Country Day is going to kick off to start the second half. Something we learned 2 years ago in this game when Country Day played Newman. Country Day executed back-to-back onside kicks with the kicker kicking the ball straight ahead and recovering his own onside kick. So don't assume Newman's getting the ball is my point. We know how they're going to line up. Country Day's going to kick off and Newman's going to be deep.
And Newman has 6 on the front line right here.
When you're dealing with the guy in the glasses on the near sideline, I would absolutely do that.
Oh, he's
especially
crazy.
When you've seen it. He will do anything.
He's crazy now. I mean that in a positive way now. He is as animated as they get, and he will do what it takes to win, 100%.
I think you kick deep here only because you got 23 seconds left in the half. You don't want to give Newman a short field with a chance to score, but you can
kick to one side.
If you could find a spot, no doubt. And it is going to be short towards the 28-yard line, returned by the Greenies up to about the 35, 36-yard line. So I took 4 seconds off the clock, and, again, you maybe tried to get into one of those little spots right there.
You try. I mean, and if you get it high enough, it gives your guys time to get down and cover the kick. The interesting thing is, hey, if you're Newman, do you take a shot right here? You took one earlier in the first drive down the sideline. Do you take another one right here?
I think the answer is
no, they're going to
probably no, because I see a guy about 15 yards behind the formation.
And I always love spread teams that they'll take a knee
out of shotgun.
Yeah, your quarterback just lost 4 yards in his yardage total for the season, and his averages were.
Well, the good news now is they've changed the rule, and that goes to the team and not to the individual.
Oh, it does? Okay.
It does affect your team.
All right.
That's the college rule.
Well,
there you go.
It is a team rush.
You use college scoring rules, of course, in high school.
But we know you can take a snap from center. They did a quarterback sneak, so I don't know why you don't do it. So anyway,
look. I know it's definitely different. We are at halftime. Your score: Newman 21, Country Day 7. And Lon, quickly, your thoughts on what we saw in the first 24 minutes.
I stand by what I said earlier. The first quarter and a half, Newman won the battle up front, both sides of the line, offense and defense. Country Day in that last drive showed what you've been saying the whole game so far. They're not going to quit. They are not going to quit, and Coach Shango's not going to allow them to quit. And you saw that on that drive because they really didn't have a whole lot of success up to that point. And they go down, march go 50 yards, run the clock, and get a touchdown.
Well, we're going to come back with a lot more, but as I mentioned earlier this week, Ken Trahan of Crescent City Sports had the chance to catch up with Ronnie Lamarck, and let's take a listen and a look in with Ken and Ronnie.
Halftime here at Lupin Field. Great football game. Two outstanding institutions in Newman and Country Day. I'm joined now by my good and great friend Ronnie Lamarck of Lamarck Ford, sponsoring this webcast here this evening. Ronnie, first and foremost, thank you for your continued support of high school sports. I know everyone in the community appreciates that.
Ken, for the future of our youths, from my cousin Vinny, but seriously, for the future of all of us here, without giving something back to the community and having these kids have a chance to exert all that energy on the field that's legal and everything that goes with it for a foundation for life, I'm honored to support this kind of program.
And two really good institutions here in Newman and Country Day, and you spent a lot of time at Lupin Field watching your son play, and I know you appreciate both of these schools.
I remember sitting in the 100-degree weather in my coat and tie watching Ronnie Michael play every day, in the rain, doesn't matter. It was a wonderful feeling for me to be involved back on that field and watching my boy participate at Isidore Newman, an unbelievable school. Ronnie even made SEC honors at LSU because of the foundation of education at Isidore Newman School. What a great school.
And I know you appreciate Country Day as well and what they've done. Fantastic school.
Country Day, again, is the epitome. It could have been either way, Isidore Newman or Country Day. Both of them are just wonderful institutions, and I know so many people out there that were involved with both of them. You could flip a coin, like Ford and Chevrolet. You could flip a coin. Make sure it's heads. Ford. Make sure it lands on Ford. All right.
Speaking of which, that's a great transition. Lamarck Ford's been a staple, a big store in Kenner. I'm a Lamarck Ford owner and happy to be one. That said, you're expanding. You've had your base in Mobile with Mercedes-Benz, but now you're getting into the Lincoln business as well.
Oh, well, Lincoln is back. For 15 years, I was the number one Lincoln dealer in the Memphis region. Sold it in 2003. Before Katrina, I looked like a genius. Now with Lincoln, with all the different body styles and Navigator and all these wonderful things coming, I said, you know what? It's time to get it back in the community because New Orleans market hasn't had one for over 7 years. So we're building a state-of-the-art Lincoln store, a collision center, 30,000 square feet, and designed to be a collision center. It isn't a barn that you made happen. Quick lane, brakes, tires, batteries, wheels, get you in and out quick because everybody's got to be somewhere before you get there. And then we have a pre-owned department that is unbelievable, all makes and models. We have $10,000 cars that are going to be on the showroom floor. So it's like 15 acres right next to Interstate 10 going east to west, 35 million. It's not Wall Street, it's Mealy Street. It's a little street in Araby. Very honored to be involved with the community, and it's an unbelievable project. For me, late in life, hey, man, you know what? I can still run 100 by 12. Well, let's see, 24 flat. Anyway.
Times 2, yeah.
Most probably.
Well, Ford is, and I say this with a degree of honesty because I've been driving Fords for all my life pretty much. Ford's making a better product now. I think that's pretty clear. And Lincoln, of course, is Ford as well on a dressed-up level. So you're only as good as your product. And you've had to sell a product, frankly, when it wasn't as good, other than trucks and so forth. But now you've got a lot to sell that's worthwhile.
You know, back in the 80s when I was on National Dealer Council, and the Japanese were like killing the market with all their different programs they put together that made the American car, look like poop, really. And then we designed and saw what was going on, and we got better and better. And right now, it's so close. It's so close that what would you pick? You can't. There's no reason why a Ford shouldn't be in your driveway. Any car we have. The truck's number one, 44 years? There must be a reason. All right, it is the greatest product in the whole world.
By American.
Amen.
Music. You love music. I gotta hold this up. The concert that you did at the Performing Arts Center, that was a lifelong dream of yours, and you got it on DVD. You've had the CD. Obviously, this is Blu-ray, and clearly this was something that was close to your heart. You wanted to do this all your life.
Right. I was 17 years old, ladies and gentlemen, discovered by a guy out of Chicago. I came so close to cutting a record in 1962. I'd have been the real deal Holyfield back then. It didn't happen. He died of a heart attack. So then I went in another direction. So at the age of 71, 54 years later, never quit, I did a CD. Then I did this album, a live concert at Jefferson Performing Arts, and it came out home run, 2 hours, 2-hour gig. And then America's Got Talent found out about it, and for 7 months they waltzed me around. It was amazing, 46,000 auditions. I made top 100, top 72, wound up number 39. And let me tell you, the competitiveness was there. However, it is what it is. It was a great experience. I'm so glad I'm back to selling cars and trucks.
So here's the deal. You want to buy this? I don't know how you buy it, but I can assure you of this. If you go to Lamarck Ford, you're probably going to walk away with one of these or one of the CDs. I'm just saying.
It should be $9.95. But today it's $0 because I can't charge. I just can't charge. I'm sorry. I spent a lot of money on them. I got the CDs and this. Plus, I'm going to do my second album, second CD, and then I'm done. Maybe a Christmas one, maybe. But then I'm done. That's it. I promise you. Right now, I'm home with my wife, Natasha. We're suffering from some personal things with her HER2 positive cancer, non-estrogen, non-progesterone, which means that she... we have we're going to get through it. It's a 1-year process, and the Lord will humble you, and we are okay. We're going to be fine.
Thoughts and prayers with Natasha continuously. Ronnie Lamarck, a uniquely New Orleans character, but more than that, a good man, and we appreciate him.
And the real deal in this community. He has the voice, and I'm giving lessons. He's going to be singing next time you see him.
That's never going to happen because when I do, it's awful. But Ronnie, God bless you and your family. Thank you so much for your support.
Go Newman and go Country Day what? What is their last name? What are they
Cajuns.
Cajun. Oh, I didn't know that. Country Day Cajuns? In the Pardon area of the city? Oh, excuse them. Wow. Okay, Country Day Cajuns against the Newman Greenies. Go Greenies. Tulane's doing pretty good, too.
There you go. Another half of football to come. That's coming up next when we rejoin Lenny Van Gilder and Lon Elzey. Halftime here from Lupin Field. Back in just a moment.
Amen.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Ronnie. And again, thanks to Lamarck Ford for their support of tonight's webcast. By the way, if you missed it last night, we were in Ponchatoula. Slidell with a 59-22 victory over Ponchatoula in a game that you could see here at Crescent City Sports, but also on Cox Sports Television as part of our Crescent City Sports Rivalry Series. Let's look at some of the games going on tonight, Lon, before we get to our first half statistics. Actually, let's get to the first half numbers first, since you're looking at them there. Country Day, with that drive at the end, kind of balanced out the numbers somewhat slightly. It went 68 yards, 11 plays in the last 4 minutes and a half to help balance the numbers somewhat, but it's still a 60-yard edge for Newman, 219 to 159. Cleanly played game, no turnovers this evening. So, again, maybe not quite the rush pass balance we might have expected based on what we saw these teams coming in, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do to move the football.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You saw Country Day there on that last drive. I mean, they came out 5 wides. They had to throw the ball there. From a time standpoint on the clock, and also they needed to get in the end zone, and they hadn't been running the ball overly well. Newman, on the other hand, I think is just, like I said earlier, taking what Country Day is giving them. They're spreading them out a little bit with the formations. Butcher is running the ball a little bit more than he does normally, and I think that's just a matchup thing that the Newman coaches saw and said, we can take advantage of this and let him use his legs a little bit and help us out.
What kind of adjustments do you think are going on right now in the locker room? Where do you see the adjustments being made?
From a Newman standpoint, I would say defensively they need to get some more pressure on the quarterback. That last series, Ibieta really stood back there and kind of, picked his target, per se, is who he wanted to throw it to. From the run game standpoint, I think Newman's defense is fine. Country Day, they need to make sure they call in plays, the things they think they can have success with, for positive yards every time. Newman has proven that Country Day is not going to be able to do a very good job of picking up first downs when they get behind the chain. So I think from a standpoint of Joe Chango, our best plays for positive yards. For Newman, keep doing what we're doing. And if I was Newman, I'd keep taking some shots downfield. They obviously saw something on film that they could take advantage of on one side of the field. Take your shots. You got a quarterback who's going to put it there. And you know what? If it's a deep pass and it's an interception, it's like a punt. But take your shots and try to get this game over with as quick as you can.
Passing yards are near each other. Country Day has 110 passing yards. Newman has 178.
So let's take a look at some of those other scores that we mentioned from around the New Orleans area primarily. Second quarter, Pope John Paul and Springfield are tied at 7. That's a non-district game. Pope John Paul in 9-2A, Springfield in 10-2A. 8-1A game, West St. John, the defending 1A state champs, way up over Houma Christian, 29-0 in the second quarter. Second quarter non-district game down in the river parishes, Hanville leading Pearl River 14-0. 7-5A matchup going on in reserve this evening. Destrehan and East St. John tied at 7 in that one. Over at Tad Gormley tonight, second quarter, Bastrop leading Brother Martin 19-7. Of course, that is a non-district game. Bastrop making their way down from North Louisiana for that one. First quarter, John Ehret jumped out big over Bonneville, 19-0. Speaking of jumping out big, Edna Carr, defending 4A state champions, taking on McDonough 35. That is a non-district game this evening. 35-0. Cougars lead that one in the second quarter.
Very surprised at that one.
As we move down the line here, first quarter, Riverside leading South Plaquemines 7-6. That is, of course, the same district that these two teams play in. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, second quarter, St. Charles Catholic 42, Lusher 0. Second quarter, St. James leading Donaldsonville 13-0. St. James, a team we had a chance to see earlier this year in their win over Lutcher, coming back in the last few seconds. De La Salle jumping out to an early lead tonight over Haynes at 16-0. That was a first quarter score there. Parkview Baptist has really struggled this year, but maybe they found something tonight. They lead Lutcher 23-7, second quarter. And interestingly, those teams are kind of moving in two different directions. Lutcher really started to get things going after the St. James game. Parkview's had a tough go of it this year, although obviously they're a traditionally good program. Terrebonne leading Thibodeau 7-0 first quarter in that Bayou League 7-5A.
Coming off that huge win last week.
Yep, no doubt. Higgins leading Landry Walker 21-7 second quarter. That's an 8-5A matchup going on tonight. Halftime, from what I understand now at Yeoman Stadium, John Curtis leading Jesuits 7-0. Chalmette in another 8-5A matchup leading West Jeff 16-6. That is in the second quarter. Earlier this afternoon, St. Augustine was a 48-9 winner over Shaw in the Catholic League. Of course, a couple of games tomorrow, the most notable of which is Holy Cross and Rummel in the Catholic League. You can hear that one on WGSO 990 AM. Ken Trahan, Phil Greco, Easton Roth will have the call of that one tomorrow night on WGSO. 7 o'clock is the kickoff time.
Oh, they're playing at night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe that's the case. Yeah, I believe it's tonight.
That's not like Jay Roth. He doesn't. He
maybe
doesn't
maybe
play
I'm
on
maybe
Saturdays.
I'm maybe I'm
He
giving
likes
you,
at 2:30.
Maybe I'm giving you wrong.
I'm just curious.
Maybe I'm giving you bad information. I don't know. That is a 7 o'clock game.
Wow.
And actually, next week, of course, is homecoming. Rummel and Jesuit at Joe Yenny. That will be a night game. So that's the.
I know Jay likes that 2:30 Saturday slot.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Typically has, but again, it's and I know they're doing that later in the year when they play the home game against John Curtis. That's a game we'll have as part of our Crescent City Sports Rivalry Series. It'll be on CST as well as you'll be able to watch it at CrescentCitySports.com. Just a couple of minutes away from the start of halftime. Let's take a break, and we'll get ready for the start of the second half. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
2-0. At halftime, Bastrop 19, Brother Martin 14. We have a final score from this afternoon: Cohen 52, Ben Franklin's homecoming 0. In the third quarter, it's Hanville 21, Pearl River 0. Also at halftime, it's Edna Carr 35, McDonough 35, 0. In the second quarter, it's Springfield 14, Pope John Paul 14. In the fifth inning, for those who are interested, it's Boston Red Sox 5, the New York Yankees 0.
About set to get things started here in the second half. Money Van Gilder, Lon Elsie, Chip Merritt, our producer, Matt Merritt, bringing you the pictures high above Lupin Field, where they've got a beautiful new press box facility here.
Yeah, nice accommodations. Everybody's been super nice to us up here. And it's been a good game. You know, it got a little more interesting at the end of the half. You go about the kickoff. Newman's ready for anything Coach Janko might have. They got 6 up again.
Right. And they're
looking for something.
And 6 men up front, and now they'll shift it around a little bit, but they had 1 point, they had 4 to the side of
number 22,
where the kicker was lining up on the hash. So
kick the ball off for Country Day.
So Country Day will kick things off here to start the third quarter.
See your spot, that if you're going to try to kick that sky kick, your spot is down here on the near side around the 30-yard line. There's a big old, if that kicker can kick it there, you might be able to run right under it and get it.
And they've got just 2 guys to this side. Well, Country Day's got 6 coverage men, and there is the onside kick, and it's recovered by Country Day. Wow. Wow. C.D. St. Hilaire came up with the football at the 47-yard line. And, you see this happen, okay? You're talking about a Joe Chango coach team, and now, we've got, not sure what's going on here. We've got an injured player at the 48-yard line.
And I just looked at the replay. As soon as he kicked it, one of the Newman players went right at him and hit him right after he kicked the, legal hit from a standpoint of, he didn't hit him in the head or anything like that. But definitely was hit by one of the Newman players on the kick.
They've got the ball spotted at the 45. Well, the ball's at the 45-yard line. I see one of the referees standing at the 47-yard line. That's where it's going to go down.
And if I'm Coach Chango, I have a little bit of beef right there. Taking a guy and sending him right to the kicker. I would understand if the ball was kicked right there, but he kicked it all the way on this side of the field. And one of those things, kicker's kind of an unprotected guy after he kicks the ball, and sending a guy there is. That's unfortunate for the kicker. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, let's hope so. They've got his helmet off at the 48-yard line. So we talked about it right before half, Lon, that you just can't assume that when we said Newman's going to get the ball to start the second half, you can't assume that when you're talking about Country Day being on the other side, because you don't know that they're just going to kick the ball to you.
And that just shows you how much emphasis Coach Chango puts on special teams, because Newman was prepared for that. All week their coaches said, hey, we're special teams. And at halftime, Coach Stewart said, hey, be ready for anything, no phony business. And they still executed. But that shows you really what kind of emphasis he puts on special teams. And rightly so, because it is 1/3 of the game.
Andrew Lopez, not just up and walking off, but up and running off and trying to get the Country Day crowd into it as well. So
use that as motivation right there. Absolutely.
And look, of course, we all remember the most famous onside kick to start a second half in the history of football.
Ambush.
In this kind of game, you got to try to steal a possession right here, especially in the case of Country Day when you're 2 scores down. Let's see what they can do with it here. Ibieta from the 47 throws, caught. That is Becknell out to about the 36-yard line, maybe the 35. It'll be a first down.
I'll tell you one thing about Ibieta watching him. When he stands back there, he just looks so relaxed back there. He almost like he's not trying hard, and he just wings it. He's very impressive. Both these quarterbacks just so impressive.
No doubt. There is. You're not talking about a bunch of 5-star recruits out here, okay? But you've got a lot of talent on the field here. As that pass is caught by the tight end Talbot. He'll get down to near the 20-yard line, about the 22, make it.
Similar play to earlier in the game in the first drive for Country Day.
He takes that one down to the 22-yard line. And that's another Country Day first down.
It's that RPO. Pull it, throw it, good execution.
As you get another look at it there, fake it, and then right down the seam with the tight end. And they'll do that a couple of times a game. We've seen it a couple of times already tonight. It was a big play on the opening drive. Now at the 22-yard line, give it away to the running back, Corciani, who gets out past the 20 and gets pushed back. Let's see, they're just going to give him the 20, a gain of 2.
And that's fine. It's a positive play. And again, that's got to be Country Day's goal the rest of this game. We've got to stay in positive plays. And it's a 2-yard gain, but it's definitely moving the chains and moving them forward.
First 90 seconds of the third quarter. Country Day, if you just rejoined us, recovered an onside kick to start the second half. And there's a hit, a fumble, ball is loose. It looks like the Cajuns got it back. And Justin Ibieta and the Country Day offense, very, very fortunate right there.
Yeah, and picked up yards on it.
And you talked at halftime about Newman needed to get more pressure on Ibieta. They get it right here. Coming off the edge.
Yeah, low luck for Country Day. The ball bounced right back to one of their players, and now they're manageable third down, 3rd and 5.
3rd down 5, ball at the 17-yard line. Line to get us to 12. Ibieta under pressure, fires, caught near the marker. A check it, incomplete.
Oh, they called it in. He dropped it?
Looked like it was going to be a catch by the freshman Dylan Simmons, but he could not bring it all the way in. And so it's going to be 4th and 5, and now it's decision time for Joe Chango.
You see, this is even tougher than I think earlier because points are points, 21-10, you're in the game. Like, I don't know if this is 4-down territory right here. I think a field goal really does help you moving forward in the game.
With the kicker, Lopez, now keep in mind,
walked
off, came off on his own, but was dinged up on the opening kickoff.
Big play right here.
4th down, 5, ball at the 17. Ibieta looking, feels some pressure, now runs, takes on a tackler, and he's going to be short of the first down. Newman comes up with the stop. Big play by the Newman defense as Ibieta looked to throw it, then scrambled and was stood up at about the 14-yard line, and a huge stop for Nelson Stewart's defense right there, Ron.
Yeah, that's a huge play. But he was real close, too. Looked like he might have a chance to get it. I don't fault the decision right there. I mean, pull it down and try to get what you can get. Just Newman made a better play right there and keeps him short of the first.
So Newman will get the football now.
And we're going the other way. They're going to start at the 14-yard line.
Spot the ball at the 14-yard line after the gain of 3 on 4th and 5. Flags before this one can get started. And it'll be a false start against Newman.
Again, one of those pre-snap penalties that, just really bother you as a football coach. Those are very avoidable penalties, especially those false starts. And when they happen, they can ruin your drive. I mean, just that little 5-yard flinch can ruin your drive.
It's going to be 1st down and 15 for Newman.
Greenies will have to operate from behind the chains now and inside the 10, back at the 9-yard line, 1st and 15. Butcher, as we've seen him from the shotgun almost the entire night. Play fake. Now we'll look to throw. Scrambles. Will run this way. Out past the 10, out past the 15. Gets to about the 17-yard line.
Good defense by the Cajuns in the secondary. Good job by Butcher pulling it down and getting a lot of that yards back. Now, very manageable here.
Check it, they'll make it the 18-yard line. So it'll be. Now you went from 1st and 15 to 2nd and 6. That's a great situation.
Absolutely. Credit
Butcher
if you're the
Greenies.
Credit Butcher for recognizing that, pulling it down, and getting a lot of yards of that penalty back.
Got it all and 4 more. 2nd and 6 at the 18. Butcher. Same thing. Got the first down. And that was almost, I thought he was trying to get a receiver to go open right there, but he might have been running a guy off just to get another defender out of there so he could put it down and go again.
Possibly. I don't think it was a true design quarterback draw or anything like that, but certainly if he didn't see anybody open, trying to do something to distract the defense would not be out beyond the realm of possibility.
So 2 Butcher runs. Give the Greenies a 1st down at the 26. Play action. Tried to throw the slant and incomplete. It was intended for Tyson Ford, who is, we mentioned, only had 5 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown coming in. He's had a huge night tonight.
He has. I mean, sometimes that happens in these type of games, especially if Country Day as a defense is focusing on some of the bigger name guys that are receiving the football, and then that opens it up for some of those lesser known guys.
Not so much Calhoun and Sutherland this evening, who have been the main guys, but you see Ford stepping up this evening.
If I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not going to let Calhoun beat me. I mean, he's been the guy all year for him. I know he's not leading it in yards, but he's the big play guy.
Taking a shot downfield. Butcher throws, and it's caught, and there's Calhoun right on cue. Breaks a tackle, 45-40. Breaks another tackle, 30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Newman, 74 yards.
Wow. Just as I'm talking about them taking away Calhoun, and he wide open across the middle and touchdown.
4 yards.
And if there was any momentum gain from that onside kick and the drive, the 4th down stop, and now this 5-play 86-yard drive, or 4-play 86-yard drive rather, has flipped it back in the direction of the Greenies, and Newman leads it 27-7 with the point after forthcoming.
Yeah, it's to kind of waste that onside kick that you executed so well, get nothing out of it, and then turn around and give up a big play like that. That's a big play by Newman. A little bit of poor tackling by Country Day, but still a lot of time left if Country Day can go down and get something here. But certainly you cannot keep giving up big plays like that as a Country Day defense.
Newman goes 86 yards in 4 plays. It only took 34 seconds. Some clock stopped on every one of those plays between going out of bounds and penalty, and then finally the 74-yard catch and run by Murray Calhoun. And he ran a lot more than 74, the way he zigged and zagged through the Country Day defense right there.
He looked like a bug on the water, just, zigging and zagging and serpentining all down the field. And, give him credit. He made the play. The quarterback put it on the money, but he did what he had to do to get in the end zone. Country Day showed, though, that they can move the ball, and they did it at the end of the half. They did it right there other than the 4th down. So, I don't think it's panic mode yet for Country Day. I don't think you start getting in the empty backfield and winging it all over the park. I think you still do what you came in here to do, but you certainly need to probably pick up the tempo a little bit.
No doubt. I think you're absolutely right that some of the best success they have was when they did go tempo late in the first half. Kick on the way, and this will go into the end zone for a touchback. So Country Day will take over at the 20 with 9:16 remaining here in the third quarter. Gives us a chance to tell you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football presented by Yale College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. College Inn, a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant, open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. Time to make it there after this one's over. From the 20, empty backfield. Newman bringing pressure. Now there's a little bit of RPO really that we see for the first time from the Cajuns. True run-pass option right there, and that was on the catch, Dylan Simmons. And he'll get 10 to right at the 30, and that'll be a first down. That's
got a flag.
And a flag at the
28-yard line.
Yeah. So let's see what the call is here. They're waving that off.
That flag's waved off.
We've seen a little bit more of that develop here, where it looks like the quarterback is going to run. It looked like it would be a designed quarterback run. He stops and then throws the ball.
Yeah. And you don't know if that's just a sprint out pass that kind of broke down, or if that's what they're trying to accomplish. Not something you see a lot in most levels of football, but certainly been effective.
So it is a first down, the ball touching the 30-yard line, gain of 10 on the play. Ibieta will keep it here, breaks a tackle, tries to get it outside. He can, but he's going to get tripped up at about the 36-yard line.
Now, they were empty backfield, and we had said at halftime that Newman needs to get in. They're sending pressure. They're sending, they sent Liam Rowan right there, and he was pressuring the quarterback. He was the first guy to get back there and cause Ibieta to scramble. So Newman has changed their the direction they want to go on defense against Ibieta, sending more guys. Don't let them stand back there and pick you apart.
Second and 4.
The danger you run there, obviously, if you're trying to send those extra guys, is with as many guys spread out, you may leave somebody running free.
Oh, busted coverage is absolutely. See there.
Yeah, and now Ibieta on the quarterback draw that time, right up the middle, will cross the 50 into Newman territory at the 48-yard line.
Great call by Coach Chango right there. That was a designed quarterback draw, 100% all the way. And he just waited for Rowan to blitz and would pick a gap, and when he saw which one he went in, he picked the other one and just took off right up the middle.
In Country Day, a couple of first downs here. The one thing I think you would classify what we've seen out of Newman tonight is bend but don't break. Country Day has really moved the ball, with the exception of 1 3 and out. They have moved the ball, but when it's come time to make a play, the Newman defense has stepped up and made plays.
Yes, they have. Now,
and on the give, this is Corciani, will spin off one tackle and fall forward to about the 39-yard line.
You're absolutely right. Country Day hasn't helped themselves either. They've had some mistakes that they've made at the same time, but Newman has definitely stepped it up when they've needed to on defense.
Second down 1, ball at the 39-yard line, and now Talking about these second and shorts, this could be anything right here, right?
Yeah, take a shot. You got some height advantage down here. Number 8 on number 14 for Newman. Take a shot.
Becknell is 6'4", getting a lot of look from Ivy League schools. They'll run the slant and incomplete in the direction of Tyler Williams and Eli Abramson. We've seen him make a couple of big hits tonight, and he delivered one right there to break that one up, and it's third down.
I thought he got there a little bit early.
That's going to bring up.
Referees disagreed with me on that one. But, you still got it. It's third and 1. I mean, you could get this first down, just execute your offense. You should be able to get the first down right here.
Becknell still to the bottom of the screen. I was starting to mention there. He's gotten some looks from Cornell, Princeton, Harvard, so he's got a chance to play at the next level. Certainly Ibieta, a junior, will get some looks. And that play is blown up by the Newman defense as they tried to run some read option right there, and the Newman defensive front just had tremendous penetration. It turns into a 4-yard loss, and it's a 5-yard loss, and it's 4th and 6.
Yeah, that was the old double A-gap blitz. You hear that a lot at the college and pro level. Just cover up the center, the guards and the tackles with your D linemen, and send both linebackers right there between the center and the 2 guards, and it's tough to pick up, especially when they time out the snap, get a run and start, and that's exactly what Newman did right there.
So on 4th and 6,
territory for the Cajuns.
It looks like the Cajuns will go for it. But again, Ibieta can punt if they do want a quick kick. On 4th and 6, taking a shot downfield, and it is caught by Christian Becknell. First down, Country Day inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, you see, that's probably something you should have done when it worked. I mean, they got the first down, but that 3rd and 1 call right there, you take that shot right there. Here's something that you think about when you get down here and Newman starts tightening up: a little double move, a little hitch and go, or something like that, and try to get that corner biting because they're playing pretty aggressive right now. Look for that maybe at the top of the screen with Becknell.
You got some big receivers out there. You've got the 6'4" Becknell, 6'2" Williams, 6'4" Talbot coming near side. That is caught, and that will be near the first down marker. That was Tyler Williams on the catch.
Yeah, again, great throw. I tell you what, he throws that out route, that sideline route, and what's so impressive to me at him as a quarterback, he looks so much. It looks effortless when he throws the football. He just like he's out there playing in the street or in the lot next door with his friends. I mean, that's the way he's out. His demeanor on the field.
Yeah, here's another 2nd and 1 situation now for Country Day, as there was a gain of 9 on that last play. 2nd down, 1 at the 10-yard line. Ibieta fakes, now goes inside on the slant, incomplete, but there is a flag this time. So maybe that was that double move that you were talking about right there. He faked something quick, and then he ran the slant.
Yeah, he ran a quick little hitch, and they pumped it, and then when he took off to the slant, the corner grabbed him, and that's what you got, the pass interference there. So it'll be a first down.
It's half the distance to the goal in high school, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul,
and it's not an automatic first down.
But it will be here. It was enough yards for a crack. Yeah. So 1st and goal at the 5-yard line,
but you notice Country Day is picking the tempo up a little bit. I mean, they're not going fast, real fast, but they're not taking a lot of time at the line of scrimmage. Looks like
stoppage here. 6:39 left in the 3rd quarter. They get the officials together and talk about something of which we're not clear about. Let's see.
Now here's a situation too. If that clock keeps running, humidity timeout. Look at the climb on the clock.
Right, you might happen on the score. Let's see if there is a score, or sometime in here. You're right. All of a sudden it becomes a free timeout. Ibieta play action, throws high, and it is caught. Wow. Touchdown. That's Becknell or Talbot there.
Looks like the Newman defender fell down.
Right.
Looks like he's got a cramp. The way he was holding his leg up, I think he might have a cramp. And that may be the reason he fell down right there. But I tell you, Ibieta he's a cool cucumber out there, man. He just really he runs that offense and never gets too excited, never gets, just kind of goes out and plays, and impressive young man the way he conducts himself on the field.
9 plays, 80 yards. It took 2 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock.
Now this is the kind of game I thought we were going to have when we started, this back and forth kind of shootout,
Yeah. That great start by Newman the scores on the back-to-back drives to start this game.
We've got an injured player right around.
Yeah,
That's the difference right now, certainly, and it could end up remaining
100% is the difference. I mean, because you got a 15, hopefully should be 14-point game, and it was a 21-0 lead. So I mean, that's 100% the difference right now. And if Country Day would have maybe gotten a score on that first drive when they kind of broke down in the red zone, we might be looking at a one-score game. Who knows?
Country Day didn't capitalize from the 17. Opening drive of the game, they missed a 36-yard field goal. They got down to the Newman 34 and gave it up on downs. Yeah, so I mean, they've had opportunities.
Gave it up on downs again.
Again, I get back to
drive of the second half.
The point I made earlier. This Newman defense has bent a lot tonight, but for the most part has not broken. And they've still, they've only given up 2 scores against a very potent Country Day offense.
Absolutely, and you look in this, if the score kind of remains the same, a 2-score game as we go down, regardless of how high it gets, and you look at the stat sheet, it's going to look pretty even. It's not going to look like a 2-score game.
And this gives you an idea here, Lon. Look at the formation. This Country Day kicks the extra point. It's good. Newman was playing safe with the defense there because you never know what you're going to see from Country Day when they might fake it. They actually they faked a field goal from the 5-yard line against a meet. Didn't get the kicker Lopez actually threw a pass and it got stopped just short of the goal line. So you don't know what you may see.
No, you don't. And when you're a team like Country Day, when you're low in numbers and your depth is a little bit on the it's not as deep as other teams. Those type of things, like you said, stealing a possession. You got to do those things to win ball games because you don't have the manpower sometimes as those guys across the field from you. So any little thing you can do to, just kind of outthink and outcoach those guys across the field, you got to do it to win the football game.
No doubt. So Lopez will kick off here. The last time we saw the Cajuns line up to kick, they tried the onside kick.
I don't think the Newman player down here, number 44, who's on the bottom of the screen, he will not leave early this time, I promise you.
Now they've got 9 men between the 40 and the 50-yard line.
Yes, they do. I just noticed that.
See, we also have number 2. We'll widen out a little bit, and you can see the Newman defensive formation there. 9 men between the 40 and the 50 and 2 men deep. That's it. They are preparing for another possible onside kick. Now you try to pooch it over the top, but he's going to kick it deep instead, Will Lopez. Back to the 5, and that's a good spot because now you got a chance to cover this. And coming back to the near side with room to run as a flag comes in. That was...
But we've got a flag down at the 36.
If they're going to call it, they might call
a hold there.
On
the return, yeah, but that was...
I don't think that one was a hold. But, it was referee saw it from behind, and looks like we got another cramp here. And that's normal when you got guys that are playing both ways, and it might not be as hot as it's been, but it's humid certainly. And the turf, I mean, it's great to have turf because
but it's warm.
It 10 to 15 degrees more on the turf than it is off the turf. So it's great from a weather standpoint because you can play in the rain and it doesn't get sloppy and tear your field up, but the heat does intensify on that turf.
And that's where Newman will start. First down and 10.
So they will spot this at the 20-yard line after the penalty, 10 yards from the 30, the spot of the foul. Well, I think you're right on that one, Lon. It looked like a good block, and and we see the Country Day player going off. That is,
well, that's a break for Cajuns.
That's Dylan Simmons, the freshman. And look, Simmons is a cornerback as well. That's the one thing when if you're Joe Chango, you lose a player. You may lose 3 really because they're on special teams too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Butcher with a back on either side of him will give it away this time, and that is stuffed up for no gain.
And when you're a coach on the other side, you know that too. Find the sub, find the guy that's in for him. Because as replacing a two-way player, he doesn't come off the field very often.
Right.
And find him and see if you can exploit that.
Now, the one thing we mentioned that Joe Chango does a good job of is we will get the stoppage here at 6:01 for the hydration mark. We'll continue that thought in a moment, but let's take a break. 6:01 remaining third quarter. Your score, Newman 28, Country Day 14. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. All right, getting ready to go back to play. Second down, 10 at the 20-yard line. We'll finish the thought about the Country Day players and possibly going after somebody after the play. Play action here, coming off the edge. Butcher is hit, incomplete. The corner blitz that time came from number 14, William Uger.
Now there's a flag. I think you're going to get lineman downfield.
Indeed.
And
wait. They signaled Country Day, but
no.
He signaled ineligible downfield, but he pointed towards Country Day. But I think you're right on that. That's right where the downfield would come. It was 3 yards past the line of scrimmage.
And that's the argument so many defensive coordinators have with the RPO that's kind of really taking over football, is that because
and he still pointed towards Country Day, but it is against Newman. Of course, you can't have a man downfield on defense unless there's some rule that we haven't heard about.
But with the RPO, it's the quarterbacks. The linemen don't know it's a pass. That the quarterback can pull that ball on the whenever he feels like it, and the linemen are just blocking. And if they're downfield, they're downfield. But it doesn't get called very often.
Butcher will step up and throw. Got a man down there, and he's got it. First down, Graney's Jermone Sutherland with the big play on 3rd and 10. It gets 52.
Yeah, that's just, as a defense, you cannot let that happen. I mean, he just took off and went. You had a deep safety back there, and his one job at deep safety is to do not let anybody get behind you, especially in a long yardage situation.
Officially a gain of 50. They'll mark it back at the 30-yard line. And this is Bush on first down. We'll get about 5.
Yeah, we might look at that play right there as kind of the deal breaker and the play that kind of ends the game. Because Country Day had an opportunity to get off the field right there and get field position too.
Right,
and
field position.
Yeah,
that might be the play of the game right there. You were going to
get
the ball near midfield with a chance to go in and make it a one-score game before the end of the third quarter. Now Newman is closing in on the red zone. That is incomplete. That was intended for T.J. Bush. Broken up by Nicky Corciani, another one of those guys playing both ways. We've seen him at running back all night. Now you're seeing him at linebacker where, oh, by the way, he's also Country Day's leading tackler with 35 stops in a year.
Now, is that Gabe Corciani's son?
It is.
Okay. I would have assumed that is he a pretty good basketball player, I would assume as well?
You get a lot of those, you get a lot of those guys. There's not a lot of guys who don't play multiple sports.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
This is Butcher on the quarterback draw, looking to get outside. He will, and he'll get the first down. Needed 5. I think he got 6.
No, spending 3 years as a head coach at St. Martin's many years ago, I know that all too well. It's just and that's what makes Nelson Stewart and Joe Chango kind of adds to their resume, that they're able to manage all of that, because that's a big part of it, being able to manage your program along with the other programs, because you're sharing kids. You have no choice. One sport athletes just cannot exist at the 1A, 2A, even the 3A level.
Well, and of course they play in the same league at Riverside, where it's very commonplace there as well, maybe even more so there than these two schools. Butcher, The pass was dropped, thrown in the
another
direction
RPO right there.
of John Charbonnet.
We haven't heard his name a whole lot tonight, Charbonnet.
No, not a lot. He's sophomore. He came in with 3 catches and a touchdown in a year. But really, Butcher has been outstanding. I mean, he has been huge in this game.
Oh, he's thrown the long ball with perfection,
From the 19, 2nd and 10. Butcher will keep. 15, 10, takes on a tackler, runs him over, and goes out of bounds at about the 6-yard line.
I tell you what, he is a better athlete than a lot of people might give him credit for, especially if you look at his rushing yard numbers, which are going to skyrocket after this evening.
No doubt.
But he just makes good decisions on the field. You don't see him make very many bad decisions, and he can run the ball. He's got a little wiggle to him, making guys miss and stuff.
And a flag. I don't know if Country Day lined up with 12. Let's see. Saw a flag come in.
Yep.
From
if it comes
the
in
back
from the
judge.
back judge and he's got his hand crossed over his chest, it's definitely 12. And that's another problem with depth and that kind of thing that you run into and trying to make personnel changes. It happens when you got a limited amount of kids that you're playing with out of your 22.
So now make it 1st and goal at the 3, half the distance to the goal on the penalty. Butcher will keep it again. This time he falls down.
Yeah, the old
turf
monster reached up and grabbed him right there. Yep.
Loss of 2.
That's a loss of 2 yards. It's going to
make it 2nd and goal. Ball at the 5-yard line.
Every
tick under
every
the 4.5
field's got
minute
one.
Mark. Oh yeah. Again, you looked at Butcher's rushing numbers coming in, and you didn't think much of that part of his game, but he's shown you the ability to do that tonight, whether that is by design this evening or just haven't seen much of it to this point, maybe because they haven't needed to.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah, that was a little bit behind the intended receiver, Sutherland, incomplete.
That was the first bad pass I've really seen him throw tonight, but going back to what you said, and I hate to say coaches do this, but they do. They hold things back. I mean, we did it all the time. When you got a big game coming up, hey, we're going to practice something, but we're not going to use it unless we have to, and they haven't really had to.
Well, keep in mind, Newman has won the first 5 games, none of them by less than 22 points. So
absolutely.
They've been in command throughout. Country Day's been in a couple of 1-point games in there. This is
big stop
batted at the line, incomplete. And I think if you're Newman, you got to take a field goal right
100%. You got to go up 3 scores. I mean, that's
and here comes the field goal unit.
That's not even a question. I don't even think Coach Stewart thought about it, other than to kick the field goal. But that's a big boost for Country Day's defense. And look, there's still a lot of time left in this ball game.
No doubt.
I mean, there's still about 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So, and if Country Day keeps playing offense like they have been, they're going to score some more points. So, any point you can get as Newman is big for you.
So here's Will Hardy, who has made a 47-yarder this year, so he's got leg. This is not more than an extra point, just a couple of yards longer, and he splits the uprights, and that will give Newman a 31-14 lead after the 23-yard field goal by Hardy. Good drive for the Greenies. They went 75 yards in 11 plays, and in the process took 2 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock, culminating with the 23-yard field goal by Hardy, which has once again made this a 3-score game at 31-14 with 3:47 to play.
I just want to comment something. I'm looking at Country Day. We're right here on the side with Country Day on their sideline. And I tell you what, the whole time, even when things have gotten down, their demeanor on the sidelines was the same. I mean, every kid has their helmet on. The players aren't hanging their head. Nobody's yelling at each other. Their teammates, they're all supporting each other. You can tell this is a team that's been through some wars and won some close games, because I don't see one kid by their body language down there or coach that thinks that this game is over.
There's the kick. This will be much shorter. Picked up on the run at the 17-yard line. A chance to do something here. And that was Simmons on the return. Get it out past the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Lamarck Ford and Kenner. Big things are coming in 2019 at the Lamarck Automotive Complex. You heard Ronnie talk about it at halftime with Ken. A state-of-the-art Lincoln dealership, a standalone quick lane with 12 covered service aisles servicing all makes and models, a used car superstore with an indoor showroom, and a fully renovated Ford dealership, all at the same location in Kenner at the big store. Go check them out or visit Lamarck.com. Country Day from the 35. Ibieta rolling, throwing, incomplete. It was in the direction of C.D. St. Hilaire.
At the 50, that was intended for number 2, C.D. St. Hilaire.
It looks like Country Day's trying to sprint out a little bit, just to get away from the pressure. They know that Newman's been bringing pressure in the second half. So one way to try to get around that is get outside of the pocket. The only problem with it is they're only getting 2 guys out in the route and they're cutting the field in half because one of their players, number 9, who is Ross Talbot, he's having to stay in and block. Yeah, exactly.
This time they'll give it away. This is Corciani. Get up near the first down, a gain of 9.
But the other thing too, when they sprint out Ibieta, it also gives him an option to run the football if he has to as well. If they drop too deep in coverage, so again, to talk about those adjustments, another adjustment by Coach Django. Hey, if we're going to throw the ball, we might have to just send 2 out and get out of there because maybe we can't hold up as well.
Third and 1.
Ibieta keeps the ball.
That's Ibieta on the keeper. He will get the first down. Gain of 2.
Good push by Country Day's offensive line. And Ibieta's a big kid himself. I mean, 6'5", 215. You get any kind of push at all, and that 1 yard's pretty easy to pick up.
From the 46 now. Cajuns need an answer right here. Ibieta will put it down and go. Won't get very far. He's met by about 4 greenies at the 44-yard line. They spotted at the 45. Give him a loss of 2.
Again, pressure by Newman. Sending somebody off the edge makes Ibieta kind of get out of there, and then when he didn't really want to, and then a good tackle by Newman out on the perimeter.
And that's going to make it 2nd and 12.
So a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12 at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, one of the first times in this half that Country Day's really been behind the chains, and now 2nd and 12. See if they can get out of it.
4 wide. Ibieta will sprint it out and incomplete in the direction of Becknell. So now 3rd and long, and
throwing that ball a little short. He looks that looked like a tired throw right there. He just didn't have enough to get it to him. It's been a tough game. He's been running a lot, and it's hot out there and getting pounded on a little bit. I just looked like he just didn't have it right there behind that throw.
44. Country Day's got to bring this one to the other 44 for the first down.
Country Day came into this game ranked 2nd in the Crescent City Sports Class 2A Top 10 rankings. Newman was 7th. You look at the early, and I know it's early, it's only 5 weeks in, the power ratings is Ibieta will look to throw right before he goes down. I think that was a lateral to Corciani, who breaks a couple of tackles and gets out near the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a run. He actually lateraled that ball back to Corciani right as he was about to go down. It's a gain of 10, and it's 4th and 2.
I think it's absolutely 4 down. You have to go for it here.
Certainly, in a 3-score game, and it's only 4th and 2.
It's 4th and 2 for the Cajuns.
But I know as a coach for many years, you pay attention to those power ratings. This is a direct snap to Corciani, but a flag is down in the backfield, and it looked like I don't think he got the line to gain.
A flag down.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to him, but there is a flag. It looks like it's going to be on Country Day. They might not have had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Ibieta lined up unless maybe they weren't set long enough. Is this motion? It's an illegal shift. They did not come set for a full second.
It was a cute little play they ran right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of snapped it. It almost looked like they snapped it between Ibietta's legs as he was set under the center and went straight to Corciani.
Or he lined up under the guard. I don't one or the other.
Yeah,
but who knows?
I couldn't really tell from here, but cute little play. Almost worked, and unfortunately, it wouldn't have been the first down anyway because of the penalty.
Right, they declined it. Yeah,
and Country Day's pulling out all the stops, but again, what the drive failed? Why? Behind the chains, second and 12.
Behind the chains, and give the Newman defense credit when they've needed to get the stops tonight. They have continued to step up.
Yep.
From the 45 now. Greenies perhaps with a chance to put this thing away right here, up 31-14. We'll go out to the far side to Charbonnet on the catch.
Up to about the 40.
And that will get a couple. 2nd and 8.
Brought down by number 7, Robert Florence.
And what you want to do here is Newman, too. I mean, you want to score, but you also would like to run some clock. And if you just got to do little short passes, some runs, and that clock running is your friend right now.
Let's see. We'll keep an eye on the play clock here and see exactly what they're doing. 15, 14, 13. You're right. Take some time here. This is not a 4-minute offense per se, but it's same concept in it. You want to let it run.
3 seconds on the play clock.
And Butcher on the quarterback draw after the running back motioned out, and it was an empty backfield. It's almost like they're stealing some things out of Country Day's playbook.
Yeah, I mean, great design. And they moved the back out of the backfield, which in turn kind of removed a player out of the box. You see the inside linebacker running out with the back, and there's just nobody there. It was 5-on-4 blocking, 5 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen. Great design by Coach Stewart and his offensive staff.
So Newman from the 42 on what will be the final play of the third quarter in all likelihood. Stacked to each side. Give it away, and
the turf monster moved closer to midfield.
Yeah. Turf monster returned, and it's all, let's see where they mark. They're going to mark it back at the 42, so no gain on the play. On the final play of the third quarter. 12 minutes left here uptown. Newman trying to go to 6-0 with an 18th consecutive regular season win. They've got 12 more minutes to hold on to a 31-14 lead. Back after this, you're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
Okay, Greeny fans, it's the fourth quarter. What do you say?
Here we go, fourth quarter, 12 minutes to play here at Lupin Field uptown. Lenny Van Gilder, Lon Elsey, the Merits helping bring it all to you, Chip and Matt.
Bush is in motion. He
gives it away. This is the first carry we've seen from Joseph Pleasant tonight.
Yeah, he played a big role a few weeks back in the EJ game, and I think that's his first carry tonight, isn't it?
I think everything to this point has been either Butcher or Bush. And that time,
took it down to the 38-yard line.
Pleasant gets it. Came in tonight with 217 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. So again, you talk about the fact that he's, Newman has won commandingly, so you get a chance to get those backups in at times. 3rd and 6, ball at the 38-yard line. Need the 32 to continue to drive. Motion man. They will give it away to Pleasant, and that'll get about 2, and it's going to be 4th down and 4.
Finally down at about the 35-yard line, maybe the 36.
So what do you do here if you're Nelson Stewart? Do you punt and play defense, or do you give this a shot right here on 4th and 4, kind of in no man's land at the 36-yard line?
The way your defense is playing, I don't see why going forward is an unreasonable decision. Because the punt could be a net 6 or 16.
Yeah, exactly. If it ends up in the end zone, no doubt. And they'll go 4 wide, 3 to the bottom of the screen. Play clock ticking down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Snap it at 1, and now's your quick
look
kick.
At that.
Butcher with the quick kick, and it'll check up inside the 10, bounce back. Nice job by the Greenies covering that one at the 13-yard line. So
it looks like the final place will be at the 12-yard line.
So we're seeing, we're seeing a little bit of everything tonight.
But again, this was the game, at this point, and it is a big rivalry because, not only for the players but for the fans, the parents. I mean, these two schools, Old Metairie, Uptown, and run in the same, social circles and are friends and grew up together and two different schools. So, this is important to everybody in this league.
And no doubt. And they were not in the same district for a long time. They just came back in the same district 3 years ago. On first down, Ibietta's catching pressure from the edge, tried to get away, and he gets tripped up from behind. That was Wade Polites. 5 tackles for loss, 22 tackles on the season. Came off the edge, nearly had a tackle for loss there, nearly had a sack, but Ibietta, quick feet, got it out to the 15, a gain of 2.
Yeah, Newman's defensive staff's doing a good job mixing it up. Sometimes it's pressure up the middle. Sometimes it's pressure on the outside. Ibietta needs to see that a little bit and possibly throw a little hot route, throw it quick to the receiver when he sees it.
Keep on the option this time and get it out right near the first down marker. Let's see where they spot it.
Up near the first down marker.
Wow, the spot at the top is way different than the spot at the bottom.
But they've moved the change. 23-yard line. Let's see. Well, hang on.
That's a first down.
Because the receivers, the referees have 2 totally different spots.
And now you get the chains sitting out in the middle. The down indicator says first down. The chains are not where they're supposed to be by any means.
No, the marker on the chain is still there, so you should be able to put it back. But yeah, that's the officials were not on the same page with that one. It looks like they're going to. No, they're not going to give it to them.
They put it back, gain of 7, so officially spotted at the 22-yard line. Third down and inches.
Officially spotted just shy of the 23-yard line. It's actually second and about 2 feet.
So third down.
Correction, third down.
Inches to go.
Third down and 2 feet to go.
Get a chance here. We'll try to check in on the scoreboard, see what the latest is out there on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard at CrescentCitySports.com.
Country Day.
They're gonna adjust the clock here. They're gonna put 9 minutes and 30 seconds back on the clock.
Yeah, because
Guess if they had to measure, they let some extra time run off. Now they've got it corrected.
The Country Day is going to have to pick it up a little bit here if they're going to get back in. The time's ticking away.
Can't take a lot of time here.
No,
you need 3 scores.
3 scores, yeah.
So Ibietta with Corciani alongside of him. Play action on 3rd and a foot. He will throw it, and he will get the first down. That is Williams on the catch.
So now that you got the first, now it's time to go. Like if you have a NASCAR package where you have a high tempo, and I know these kids are tired. A lot of these haven't left the field tonight. But it's, on that first down, get up there and get the ball moving. Let's start trying to push the tempo here and put the pressure on Newman's defense.
And you don't see it right here.
No,
I don't know if it's just if he thinks it's a little too early at this point. That's
3 scores though with only 9 minutes to go. That's tough.
That's Ibietta and Corciani in the backfield.
Now 4 on the play clock. They've got to hurry here. Ibietta's getting pressure off the edge. That's a lateral to Corciani. This will be a run. Corciani 35 out to the 37-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 8.
See what they're doing there is Newman's getting that outside blitz free to the quarterback, normally in a normal setting, that would be the running back's man, but instead of doing that, they're kind of just slipping the running back out and saying, okay, you blitz, you don't pick him up, I'm going to throw it to him, and then now he's uncovered receiver. So, either way, they're picking up the blitz in a different fashion.
It's a different form of run-pass option, if you will.
Yeah,
it's a run option almost.
Absolutely.
Because they're laterals. Williams could not bring that one in right in the breadbasket, and it's 3rd and 2.
At first, when I saw it, I thought it might have been a hook and lateral, but the back went the other way. But you got to make that catch. The key word, Coach Barry Wilson always told me, the key word in wide receiver is receive. So when you're out there, you got to catch the football, when it's thrown to you, because that ball was right in his hands. He needs to make that play.
I don't know if we've seen a hook and lateral from Joe Chango yet.
Hey, maybe I might have had a premonition right
who knows?
there.
Anything is possible. Ibieta taking a shot and caught. Man, I tell you what, that is a long throw.
Opposite hash.
Yes.
To the numbers, opposite hash to the numbers, over a defender and in front of another defender on the money. Yeah, that's a big-time throw right there.
Gain of 9 on 3rd and 2. We get a stoppage here as a Newman player is down at the 50-yard line. That is the free safety, Sterling Scott. He's had a couple interceptions this year. And
quite possibly another cramp. That's just kind of what you see this time at this level football, and it's still warm and humid.
Gives us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Lamarck Ford in Kenner. Lamarck is a Kelly Blue Book buying center offering extraordinary deals and service. Go to Lamarck.com to learn more. And again, our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck for his support of high school football and enabling us to bring you tonight's game.
Hey, I'm a big Lamarck Ford fan. I bought several vehicles from them. Just bought 2 recently from Lamarck Ford. So great dealership. They do a great job over there, and excellent service.
Go check them out at the big store. There's construction going on, like we told you about, but making it bigger and better.
Adding a Lincoln, huh?
Adding a Lincoln dealership, exactly. So here we go from the 46. First down, 10.
And number 1, Tyson Williams on the left. Number 8, Becknell on the right.
Ibieta drops straight back. Will take a shot downfield. Got a man, and Williams dropped another one.
Little underthrown. Got distracted by number 1 for Newman, who was back there at free safety. But again, a ball that he could have caught, and he probably should have caught.
That's going to make it 2nd down.
9 times out of 10 in practice, he probably comes down with that. But I like the call. Take your shot. That's that kind of. They're not going fast, but that's kind of your, take that shot right there, maybe hit a big play, and now we can start going, a little bit faster. So
maybe they spotted something there because, again, the safety just left. That's Sutherland, who's been playing wide receiver all night, who's now in at safety. Pump fake, got the feet down and in first down. Terrific play by C.D. St. Hilaire on the far side, down to the 30-yard line. And another look, Lon.
Yeah, nice little pump fake, little hitch and go.
And watch the footwork here.
Oh, yeah, tight roped it.
So now we're seeing a little bit of tempo out of the Cajuns at the 30-yard line as the clock stopped for the moment after the completion went out of bounds. 7:27 remaining. Ibieta will throw. What a terrific play right there.
That's Liam Rowan.
Liam Rowan, the senior, who leads this team in tackles, but shows you he can drop back in coverage and make a play there as well.
I tell you, I saw him on the field before. He looks like a football player. When he's in his pads, he just looks like a guy that just comes to work every day at practice and works hard and looks to lead this team and get better and make plays on Friday nights.
Give it away on 2nd and 10. A little bit of room for Corciati, but it closed up in a hurry, and he'll get about 4 to the 26.
Taken down around the 26-yard line.
Good safe call right there. I mean, again, you want to stay manageable, and you got about 4 there. So 3rd and 6. Definitely 4-down territory here. I mean, there's no question about that.
Based on where you are in the field and based on the game situation.
And I would call your 2 plays here, your play right here with that in mind. You don't have to get the first here. You'd like to, but, get something safe. Try to pick up the quick 6 or at least get it a lot closer.
Ibieta keeps, and he will get the first down right past the 20 out to the 19-yard line. Country Day is in the red zone once again.
By number 24, Wade Coley.
Country Day, we need to pick it up a little bit. They're
trying to show a little tempo here.
Yeah, I mean, but just that clock's your enemy right now.
No doubt.
It's not on your side, and they're going to be looking for something in special teams if you do score a touchdown here.
Inside 6.5 minutes remaining now. Ibieta looking, throwing deep, and that is incomplete, but a flag. Multiple flags.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, he had his arm around him the whole time.
Eli Abramson in coverage out there on Tyler Williams.
But I'll tell you one thing with Coach Chango and Ibieta. That's a young man, number 1, who's dropped a couple recently, Tyler Williams, and they're still going back to him, and that shows they have a lot of confidence in him, in that young man. That hey, we know you dropped some, but we're still going to throw you the football because you're important on this team, and we know you can help us and win football games.
Now, this is half the distance to your goal, and you mentioned that defensive pass interference is not an automatic first down. So
correct.
This is going to be just short of the first down, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see where they actually, because it was inside the 20-yard line, so it should not be a first down.
Correct, but it looks like
shows you what I know. They just dropped the mark.
Where that stick is.
Oh no, they put the. Let's see. They're putting them down.
Yeah, first and goal. But no, you're right. Where that stick was on the front end, the line of scrimmage, it was inside the 20, so it should not be 10 yards. You're right.
So now it's at the 9. Ibieta looking to hit the slant, and does. Is that in for the touchdown? Yes, it is. C.D. St. Hilaire, 9 yards, the touchdown.
I was just thinking if 2 helps you, but not really, doesn't really do a whole lot for you.
They'll kick it here. The only thing that 2 could potentially do for you is give you a chance to win
it with a field goal.
Right. And look, he did that against St. Charles Catholic. He was down 10-0, scored the touchdown, went for 2, and then kicked the field goal. So it's, or maybe the other way around, but went for 2.
He went for the win, basically.
Yeah, went for the win, exactly.
Now, what's the odds that Newman's going to have 11 guys on the line for this kickoff?
No, not even. On that? Yeah, absolutely. It's good. Hey, you can't. You got to put somebody back there.
1 deep and 10 up. 10 guys up.
So 12 plays, 87 yards. But the big thing, if you're Newman, is you made Country Day take 4 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock right there.
Which, that's the state of football now, that 4 minutes and 5 seconds is a long drive on the clock. It used to be back in the day, 10 minutes was a long drive, But when you're playing these spread teams, I mean, you're not going to get a lot of clock. That's why these games last a long time, and a lot of clock stoppage throughout the game with the incomplete passes and so forth. So interested to see what Country. I mean, like you said, Coach Chango's got to have something up his sleeve. Something's going to happen here. I don't think at this point you can kick it deep, and I mean, you would have to come up with a real quick stop, maybe use a timeout or 2 to even have a chance. I just don't know what you can do with 9 guys up. Because giving it to him midfield would almost seal it. I think you got to try to hit a hole here with a sky kick. Maybe, bounce off the pads or drop it in or something. So,
the 20-yard line is number 35, Jack Robert, and number 22, John Charbonnet.
We'll see.
Let's see. We've already seen one successful onside kick tonight, and that was the start of the second half. So perhaps, this is a situation where you're expecting it. So when you're trying to successfully recover one of these when the defense is, the coverage team's expecting it, that's different. Here's your pooch kick over the top. Nicely done, but it's also very nicely played by the Greenies, and they'll try to return it. Coming back the other way now, 20, 25, won't get back to the 25. And that was Jermone Sutherland, who's one of their regular return guys, but he was up on the hands team right there, but went back and fielded that basically over the shoulder. Now, I don't know if Nelson Stewart might have been particularly excited about him trying to make a play right there and not just get on the ground, but still in all.
I think, that's going to be something in film tomorrow, that no reason to reverse your field. You don't need the superstar ESPN play right there.
You just need the football.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah. So from the 22, we'll start. Now I think you really get into 4-minute offense mode here, Long. Let's see what they do.
Newman,
and again, they continue
100%.
to spread. They continue to run it from the spread, and they will throw it on first down. Got a man downfield, but just missing a wide open Jermone Sutherland.
Heat and humidity timeout.
And we'll get it here, I believe, with 6:03 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Again, why not take that at the change of possession?
At the kick, at the kicker. You could have done it right after the kickoff at 6:08. You're absolutely right.
That's one of those things that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how they're telling them to enforce it. Exactly.
I know. And again, I haven't been around it. Like I said, I used to go to those rules meetings every year with the head coach, with either Barry or Eric, and listen, just so we had 2 ears there and not misinterpret anything. So things might be a little different now than they were 3 years ago, but I think you have to have some discretion on this call. I don't think it can be black and white. So, but that's a big break right there, that incomplete pass. I mean, stop the clock. Don't have to use a timeout.
After a quick break, we're coming back. Newman has the ball.
All right, so Newman, as we resume here, plays 2nd and 10. Ball now at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, Newman's trying to get in a good play. They're looking to the sideline and trying to read the defense, see what they can get. That's kind of why they threw it deep on the last one.
They will throw it again on 2nd and 10. That is out in the flat, brought in.
Great tackle.
And it's not, great one-on-one tackle right there.
That's Corciani.
That is Corciani making the stop on Bush.
And it's going to be
now, if you coach Chango, if you get a stop here
needs to get to the 32-yard line for the first down.
Clock's running, I think you have to take a timeout. I know you don't want to
start using them. No, I agree.
But,
I agree.
If you hope for an incomplete pass,
then
that
you don't
would be
have
great.
To, right.
But I think you tackle him in bounds. It's not a first. You've got to use that timeout. One of them.
3rd and 9, ball at the 23. Butcher getting pressure, gets away from it. He's got room to run.
Wow.
Will get the first down and then some. Out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
That's a backbreaker right there. Had him in the grasp in the backfield, one of the defensive players. I didn't really see who that was, who had him. And Butcher just kind of showed his strength there and broke the tackle. And, that really hurts Country Day right there. It really does. I tell you, he outran Corciani.
At the 38. This time they will give it away. Bush doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple.
Now the situation here, I think you have to start using them after 2nd down here, I think.
About a yard or two behind.
You got to stop the clock. You got to start stopping the clock. I mean, there's no way of getting around it.
So it's going to be 2nd and 12.
Newman, I would be surprised if Newman throws it again. They threw it 3 straight times the last series.
Or tried to, yeah.
Scramble, but
play clock under 10. They snap it at 2. Play action. Butcher trying to get out of there and turns it into a positive play.
I would take a timeout right here, Coach.
3 yards, brought down by number 6.
He's going to hold on to him for now. Again, I guess you got to think about this as well here, Lon, is the fact that you have 2 scores, so you're going to have the ball twice, and if Newman if they end up with the ball back, you might need to be able to stop the clock then as well.
Yeah.
Maybe here on third down if it's in play. I think you almost have to.
No doubter, yeah. You know, my thought process was maybe, you get him to throw, get a freebie on the incomplete pass, but yeah, I mean, you got to get the stop first. I mean, timeouts are irrelevant if you don't stop them on this third down play.
Line to gain is the 48. It's Butcher on the quarterback draw, and they had it well defended, but he got outside but could not get much past the 45-yard line. He's going to be short, but you made the right point there, Lon. Out of bounds, and it's that's big right there. So it's 4th and 2.
That's Butcher has been a general on the field all night, and that was kind of a lapse of judgment right there. I mean, you need to stay in bounds right there. Either make them call timeout or waste another 30 seconds, whatever the case may be.
Now on 4th and 2, what do you do if you're Country Day right here? Do you come after this, or do you set up a return?
I think you set up a return. Now they got 10 up there. I mean, not all on the line, but I don't think you can risk roughing the kicker.
Punt is away. It's a line drive kick. We'll pick it up. We'll get past him. Williams has had a tough night.
Yeah, he's got to try to field that. I mean, oh, wow.
And then Country Day is pinned back now at the 1 or 2 yard line. Let's see exactly where they spot it. You get another look at the punt here, and Williams was in position to field this thing on a hop, and it might have just taken a big hop on it.
It could have. And you don't want him to could have bounced, on an angle or, over his head. You don't want him to kind of jump, and then you tip the ball. And, yeah, it's tough. That's a job I would never did want as a player, is returning punts, because that is just, it's a scary thing back there all by yourself, and it's tough.
So the Cajuns take over at the 2. IBN in the shadow of the goalpost here.
Don't let anybody get behind you if you're Newman. Secondary, don't bite on double moves.
He'll throw complete, far side. Will not get to the first down. It'll be a gain of about 8.
That was Tyler Williams again, it looked like. Yep.
And you talked about continuing to go back in his direction.
No, I mean,
they do it again there.
Absolutely.
He's one of your best players, so you can understand it. Now Ibieta taking a shot downfield, and that is incomplete, and a flag comes in. Multiple flags come in. I think it's all the same thing. I think it's pass interference, but it looks like Dylan Guillen, the junior cornerback, may have gotten there a half a beat early trying to defend the big wide receiver, Christian Becknell.
Look, you might see that 3 or 4 more times on this drive. Throwing it up to him. We don't have a height or weight on Dylan Guillen,
but he's not as tall as Christian Becknell.
No, I can guarantee you that he is not.
So this will be 15 yards for defensive pass interference. Put it at the 25-yard line.
Take another one. Take another shot. And I'm not saying do it right here, but I don't think you can beat him on a double move. I think that's kind of played with the situation. I don't think it's going to happen. So just throw it up to him.
It looked like Newman wasn't ready on defense, and Country Day went quick. Then they quickly recovered. That is bobbled, and is that intercepted? Or are they saying incomplete?
Wow.
It looked like the ball was being bobbled in the air as it caught Corciani out there quickly, and I thought perhaps it was brought in, but no.
Polit's almost got it, but wow. We've had some crazy stuff happen.
Juggle, but it hit the ground incomplete. 2nd down and 10 now at the 25-yard line as you had another look at that play. The biggest number you see there, the time, 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. If Country Day is going to pull out another fourth quarter comeback, they need 2 scores. Ibieta will take a shot down the field, and that is incomplete.
That's a good no call right there. That's a good no call.
And that ball falls to the turf.
He has every right to the path of that football, and he kind of stepped right there where it was, and they just kind of ran into each other. I don't have a problem with that not being called at all.
So 3rd and 10 now from the 25.
It's 3rd down.
I think regardless of what happens in this last 2 minutes and 38 seconds, yeah, we've seen a lot of what both of these teams are about tonight here. As Ibieta drops back, he's going to escape. Now throw incomplete. It was intended for Williams.
Good thought. Looked like he was trying to do a little kind of a back shoulder thing to him. They just weren't on the same page. He had to throw it from the standpoint. I don't think he could have run for the first. The pursuit was pretty good from Newman right there. But on the flip side, 5 yards would have been possibly a little bit better situation for him going into this 4th down play.
Yep.
But this is the ball game.
Right. Cajuns
right
have
here.
to go for it right here.
Yeah,
this is do or
absolutely.
die. From the 25, Ibieta will roll back to the near side. Is he going to look to throw back? He's going to shovel it forward. What a play! 1st down.
Jeez, this man.
Ross Talbot on the catch. Needed 10. He got 14.
That was as good of improvisation that you'll see at the high school level. I mean, he just chest pass. Almost looked like he was playing basketball right there.
Well, he can play a little of all sports. So he's a pretty good baseball player as well.
That's what I hear.
From the 39, Ibieta pump fakes. Now he's got a man behind the defense, but it was a little underthrown. On the double move, and Williams with the catch to the 31. If he'd have let him, it might have been a touchdown. Exactly.
So here's some thinking now with the time. Do you get what you can get, call a timeout, and kick a field goal? Because you need both. Or do you waste all your time trying to get the touchdown? That's one of those things, what approach do you take?
Yeah, I think it's early for that right now, and I don't think it's a guarantee because you've missed one already tonight.
You're right.
I think you've
and
got.
I'm not saying from here by any stretch, but certainly maybe
But here's the thing: if you get to 4th down, then I think you take your field goal.
I think you have to.
Right.
Because if you don't, you got to get both. So if you don't get one, you're not getting either one of them. So,
So Newman takes a timeout here. Greenies have 2 remaining. And Country Day still has all 3. So remember that even, if they can go in and get a score, and even if they don't recover the onside kick, they've got all 3 timeouts remaining.
And look, they're working on players with cramps down here in the timeout. They got kids peeling tape off of them. I mean, this has been a really hard-fought football game tonight.
Chance to remind you to Crescent City Sports Prep Football, brought to you by Gills Bar for more than half a century, offering services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. And headquartered on the North Shore. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
It's 1st down.
I'll tell you who I like right here. I like sending Talbot right up the middle of the field, right on the inside of this hash. Look at the space between the 2 safeties. Try to hit him right in that seam.
Ibieta will step up, throw towards the end zone. It is caught. Becknell, touchdown. And still 2 minutes to play. Hang on, folks.
Here, now the question is, you got 2 timeouts. Do you onside kick it, or do you kick it and play defense? Tough call because you only got 2.
It took them. Well, they got 3 timeouts. They've got them all.
Oh, Newman took the last time. Newman took that timeout.
Now keep this in mind too. Country Day just went 98 yards in 1 minute and 22 seconds. 98 yards in 7 plays.
It's a big extra point right here.
No doubt. And Newman continues to play safe. Extra point on the way. It is good. It's a 3-point game with 2 minutes left.
Who would have thought?
Country Day rallied in the 4th quarter to defeat Amite. They rallied in the 4th quarter to defeat St. Charles Catholic. They've come from 17 down in the 4th quarter here to make it a 3-point game, 31-28. This is as close as it's been since the opening minutes of the game.
Yes. And with all the missed opportunities that Country Day has had, with all the plays that Newman's defense has made, and for Country Day to be in this game with 2 minutes to go and only down by a field goal with a pretty good field goal kicker.
Country Day will be kicking off.
Wow,
from
this
the
is
40.
this is kind of it didn't look like it, but it is living up to the hype that we've had all week for this.
It took us a while to get here, but
Yes,
now we're nip and tuck here down in the end. And obviously, this for the moment is the biggest play of the game. Newman's got 9 up, 2 back at the 20-yard line.
What do you do, Coach Chango?
Going onside to the far side, and it's recovered by James Downing, a defensive lineman, number 44. Good job. Don't expect that. You usually have skill guys right there. That was a defensive lineman taking that one in at the Newman 48-yard line. But again,
yeah, I think he hit it a little bit too hard there, a little solid. So he got more of a skip than a bounce on it. But that's really what they did on the first one. Difference was he held his ground there, number 44. He didn't kind of bail on the kick, thinking they were going to kick it deep. And good job by Newman.
Look at Newman coming out 4 wides, and this is, unless this is a Butcher run, now they'll motion a man into the backfield, not as 2 men alongside Butcher. They will give it away, and this is Murray Calhoun on the run, and he lost a yard. Country Day's going to call timeout.
Oh, absolutely. You're using all 3 right here.
By number 8, Becknell, who was helped by number 9, Talbot, and number 4, Buckner Heavey.
But I tell you, these guys, you're watching on both sides. There's guys limping off the field. They're hands on the hips, heads down. This has been
takes their first timeout of the second
This
half.
has been a really hard-fought contest.
1 minute and 53
Hats
seconds
off
left
to both
go
sides,
in the fourth
both
quarter.
coaching staffs for, just having their teams prepared, and this is what we thought it was going to be, interesting. I think there's a few more fireworks tonight. I think you got a little bit more, left in this last 153.
See what happens here on 2nd down and 12. Officially a loss of 2 by Calhoun on the run.
Something's going to happen. A big play, a tip ball. Something like that's going to happen. The way this game's gone up to this point, something's going to happen in this last 153.
Difference in the game right now, that field goal that we saw late in the 3rd quarter by Newman to make it 31-14.
Yeah.
Butcher, Pleasant, and Busher in the backfield.
From the 46, 2nd and 12.
Butcher takes the snap.
Butcher looking to throw. Caught, and that is a great job right there by the receiver to stay in bounds, and that was Calhoun with a very heads-up play. Joe Chango uses his 2nd timeout with 1:43 to play. It's going to be 3rd down and 6.
How about Coach Stewart, calling a pass, and I'm sure, people might say, why don't you run the ball and let them run out their timeout? Some people might say that. But, when you sprint out, anytime you do anything like that where you get out the pocket, a waggle pass, bootleg, sprint out, especially out of a timeout, I guarantee you Coach Stewart told Butcher, if you're not 100% sure it's there, run it, stay in bounds, don't force it, run the clock. So it's a safe pass play from the standpoint of that.
Ibietta's standing by himself on the sideline at the 43-yard line. All of the rest of the Country Day players are over towards where the play is, around the 48-yard line. Everybody else standing over there. He's just getting his thoughts together, knowing if his defense can make a play right here, he's going to get one more chance to go out there and possibly win this football game.
Let me tell you, for the game, I would love to see him get a chance right here. Have another shot at going down and trying to win the football, or at least tie it for his team.
So here we go. 3rd down 6. Motion man. Coming near side. Oh, they set up the screen.
Wow.
And it's broken up. Well defended by the Cajuns and nearly intercepted. And that, look.
I told you, tip ball, something was going to happen.
Well, and remember this now. incomplete pass just stopped the
Stop the
clock.
clock,
So
and they got a timeout in their pocket.
now they've got a timeout and a minute 37, and you figure Newman has to punt the football here.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
They'll run the punter out there. Yeah, that is Singley coming on the field. Now, last time he pinned the Cajuns back at the 2-yard line.
Number 13, Roller Singley, is on the punt. His last punt was 52 yards. That's the snap. And the
Kick it away.
Number 1, Tyler Williams.
That's Williams at the 13, looking to get outside. Makes a man miss. Oh, on his feet. Had one more man to beat, but he got tackled from behind at the 30-yard line with 1:26 to play.
Here we go.
Well, this is what you tuned in for this evening. Or you're here in Lupin Field.
Do we have a timeout here? Newman's on the sideline. Unless they call time, I don't think Country Day would have called their timeout.
Now, they just took an extra second there. Now they're going to get things ready for play. So here we go. Remember what I mentioned earlier. Lopez hit a 55-yard field goal in warm-up, so he's got some range.
Oh, you can't take
Ibieta
That's going to be
forward.
grounding. That would be bad.
And let's see. What's the call?
There was a couple receivers right there. I know Talbot was pretty close, but that's a big-time judgment call by the officials there.
That was ruled incomplete.
So it's an incomplete pass.
But look, he's been doing that all night, Ibieta, improvising like that, you know.
He's got Corciani alongside of him, and then 3 wides and Talbot in the slot. Ibieta looking to get away, lets it fly, caught! Williams at the 46, he will get out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
And Ibieta just threw that one up. He was feeling a little pressure, he chunked it, and Tyler Williams made a great adjustment back to the ball. He saw it, put on the brakes, came back to the football. Good job by him getting out of bounds. They still got a timeout in their pocket. They're on the plus side of the field, still with a minute 9 left.
Right. Scoreboard says they have 2. They actually have
one.
1.
I'm pretty sure they only have 1.
Right.
Williams to the left.
From the Newman 48. Ibieta lets it fly. Nope. Incomplete. No, they call it a catch.
Wow.
I thought that ball bounced in there, but that's a great play. I believe that's Becknell over there.
Yeah, it's definitely Becknell, number 8. He's had a heck of a game tonight.
11 yards to the 37-yard line. First down. Clock now running. 52, 51. Ibieta going down the field this side. Battle for it.
That's going to be offensive pass interference.
Let's see. There is a flag. Let's see what they call.
I think that's 100% going to be a pass interference on the offense right there. He dragged the defender down.
No!
Wow!
I agree with you there. I thought perhaps
I'm going to watch this replay.
We're going to take another look at the play. We're showing it right now. And you see the end of it. And the only thing that I would say is this, Lon. Yeah, did the defender impede his path trying to make a play on it? That is about the only thing that I would say.
Yeah, but he has a right to the ball. You know, I mean, ooh, man. Wow. That
goes against the defense.
Yeah.
Now the ball is at the Newman 22-yard line. 45 seconds to play.
That's a real tough call right there. Definitely a break for Country Day.
All right, here we go. From the 22. Ibieta looking far side. Caught and out of bounds. That was Becknell out at the 11. Stops the clock with 40 seconds to play.
So you're really almost, a tie is almost, I mean, from the type of kicker they have, I mean, you almost have a tie in your pocket right here. So
now you're playing for the win.
Yeah. Wow.
40 seconds to play. They have moved 59 yards from the 30 to the Newman 11 in just 46 seconds. Ibieta handles a low snap, rolls this way, throws, caught. I don't think he was in. He's short.
No, he's on the 1.
It's going to be at the 1 yard line. I think it's going to be a first down.
It's going to be a first down,
again.
so the clock should stop. You still have a timeout.
So it's first and goal from the 1 yard line.
I would not call your timeout here.
33
you want it for the
seconds
field goal.
to play. They're going to line up quickly here, and they're going to put Ibieta under center.
Coach Stewart's trying to call a timeout. He got it.
They got it in time. Newman got the timeout, and that is their second of the half. So each team will have one timeout remaining with 26 seconds left. Ibieta on this drive has gone 4 of 5 for 54 yards. They got another 15 on that key defensive pass interference call. That's how we've gotten from the 30 to the Newman 1 yard line here in exactly a minute. This drive started at a minute 26. Remember, they went on the last possession, they went 98 yards in 82 seconds. So this has truly been a remarkable turnaround here. Country Day got the ball at the 2 yard line, down 31-21 with 3:22 to play.
You know, there's something to be said, and you've made reference to it tonight. There's something to be said when you get to the part of the season, about right now, midway through, where and they kind of call it, learning how to win. And not that Newman doesn't know how to win, and I don't want to imply that at all, but, like you said, their margin of victory, they haven't
been in a close game.
No,
this is the first
and these
time
guys haven't. And, knowing how to handle that for kids is you have to have been there. It's not something you can just do. And that's kind of showing right now with Country Day and Newman on both sides of the football.
No, they're lining up big right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ibieta, this is a power I formation. Ibieta's got Talbot and Isaacs lined up at fullback with Corciani deep in the I formation.
They're trying to put more time on the clock.
Let's see.
Let the linemen relax, referees. I think 34 they're trying to put. Yeah. Let the linemen relax. Get the linemen up. There you go. Ball was never marked so they can move. You don't want to get stiff in that stance, as a lineman down in that squat position. I would have to assume they're going to run a quarterback sneak here. Newman's probably loaded up right in the middle, but Ibieta's big, and they got some big boys behind them.
And they've got Becknell doubled on the outside. Ibieta will keep. He gets the push from behind,
touchdown.
and he's in for the score. With 32 seconds to play. 6 plays.
Okay, you got to get your field goal team on the coach.
6 plays, 70 yards. It only took 54 seconds.
Make sure you have your 11, because this is an important point right here.
No doubt.
Make sure, even if you have to take your time out, you got to get your 11 out there and make sure you have everybody you need. Because this is the difference between going the length of the field or half a field.
Lopez to make this a 4-point game. Flags.
One of the linemen looked like he moved.
Offsides against Newman.
Oh, wow. I thought a lineman moved.
It's offside.
And you can't decline that because it's a
dead ball foul.
It's a dead ball foul, so I don't think you can decline it. It looks like he's trying to, but I didn't think you could.
He's saying I'm declining it.
Okay.
I want to kick it right here from the 3.
I don't think you can.
Maybe it looks like they are. You're right.
Ball,
you're right. You're right. They are
cannot.
taking the penalty, and now they're moving up to kick it from about the 8.5.
The snap is up.
Kick is down, and it was good.
And it's good.
35-31. Country Day leads for the first time tonight.
All right, so if you're Newman here.
Let's reset things in terms of what's happened. First, if you're just joining us, let's kind of update you on what has happened.
Sure.
Okay? This has all happened in terms of Country Day in the last 6.5 minutes, okay? Touchdown pass to St. Hilaire made it a 31-21 game, and that came with 6:13 to play. They got to stop Country Day got pinned back at the 2, went 98 yards in 7 plays. It was, again, Ibieta to Becknell. Made it 31-28 with 2 minutes to play. They got a 3 and out, got the ball back at the 30-yard line. They went 70 yards in 6 plays, took 54 seconds. Ibieta did it all himself, in his arm and with his leg for the last yard. And that's where we are now. 21 points in less than 6 minutes for the Cajuns to turn a 17-point deficit into a 4-point lead. Now, can Newman answer? Can they come up with the big play?
I think it hinges on this right here. If they can get a return, they've got a shot. If they don't, it's going to be real difficult.
This is pooched, and this is going out of bounds.
That's not what you want to do as Country Day.
He was trying to kick it short and like in between the numbers and the sideline there.
Now normally the rules you get it to 35, but it went out of bounds before the 35, so they actually get it where it went out of bounds.
And they've also got the option to have him kick again, don't they? Do you want to just take it
right
here at the 38
Yes,
yard line?
You can. That is an option. You can take it where it is, or you can make him kick it again. Absolutely.
Let's see what happens.
And the clock did not start because the ball was not touched by a player of the receiving team. So
Nelson Stewart's talking about it with the officials right now.
Yeah, that's not a bad thought there,
if you
Lenny.
think you've got a return guy, and look, this year,
make them kick it again. The only thing, kind of the negative on this is when you do touch the ball, the clock. You have it here with the clock stopped.
No, they're certainly.
Whereas
Murray Calhoun has a kickoff return for a touchdown this year. It looks like they're just going to send the offense out. And this is interesting because now you get rather than take it there, you get the 5-yard penalty. They put it at the 43-yard line.
That's interesting. I've not seen that before. I thought you had to take it at the spot. I didn't realize you got the 5 as well. Okay.
10 to go.
So 32 seconds. Newman has to go 57 yards.
Ibieta's back. Is that Ibieta back there playing center field?
Maybe.
Looks left.
Butcher throws. Pass was tipped at the line, but I believe it's caught, and it is. And Nelson Stewart might have to use his last time out here.
Intended for number 22, John Sharp.
Hey, they're trying to hurry. 21.
Ibieta and Becknell are playing center field on defense.
Becknell's normally in there, but yeah, Ibieta can really knock something down at 6'5". That's your big guys back there playing deep. That is
incomplete.
Down's incomplete, and the clock will stop it.
All right, so what you have here is with 10 seconds left, you got a possibility. The middle of the field's open because you have a timeout. So you need to get as many yards as you can right here. You got to get the first down too. If you got to use your timeout, use your timeout.
That's fine.
And then you take a shot in the end zone.
It's 10 seconds left. In reality, you've got 2 plays here.
Correct. But you don't have to work the sideline is what I'm trying to say. The middle of the field is available to you.
Right. Just give yourself up. Don't run out the clock and then call timeout.
You don't need to break 10 tackles.
Exactly. Butcher handles a low snap from center. He'll step up. He's going down. They're going to have to use their last timeout here with 5 seconds left. And Nelson Stewart,
who was that?
Was quick to do it. I believe that was Pollinard who was back there. First sack of the night, I believe.
Pollinard looked like Robert Florence was in there too.
So here we go. 5 seconds now. 4th and 5. The ball is at the Newman 48.
2 trains of thought here. I think Butcher has the arm to get it to the end zone. He's going to have to probably, step up in the pocket and let it fly. Or, we used to work a play and we would practice it in 2-a-days in August. We called it chaos, and you've seen it many times where you throw one and then just start lateraling around and maybe something happens. And, most teams do something like that in practice like that. Do you, if you have the confidence to throw it down when you think Butcher can get it there and you can protect, maybe you sprint out so you can get him a little more time and let your receivers get down there.
Right.
But that's kind of where you are.
And look where, we'll see where they end up at, but the 2 deep safeties, Ibieta and Becknell, are standing at the 15-yard line. They're 37 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I would put them even
now
deeper than that.
Well, actually, they're cheating up a little bit, back
20.
to the 20. But now you've got 3 guys at the 30. You're gonna rush 4 and drop 7 here. Or may even pull somebody else out and only rush 3. Let's see what happens on 4th and 5. Butcher stepping up, lets it fly. This is going to be intercepted by Christian Becknell, and Country Day wins it.
With the final score, Country Day 35, Newman 31.
What a comeback for the Cajuns. They came from double digits down in week 1 to beat Amite. They were 13 down in that game. They were 10 down against St. Charles Catholic and came back to win.
The cardiac kids, huh?
They were 21 down, I think. It was a 21-0.
21-0 tonight,
right,
yes.
Right, so, and 17 down in the fourth quarter to come back and win this one, 35-31. As good a high school game as you will see, Lon.
Yeah, and like you said, it took us a while to get there. It was a long journey to the second half, but golly, I mean, credit to both teams. Just, you hate to lose them like this, and so you feel for the Newman side because they played hard too. They played as hard as they could, laid it on the line. But, wow, Country Day, I mean, this is a habit for them this year.
Yes, it is.
They are really showing people that, maybe it doesn't matter how many guys you got on your roster.
That's it.
We can play football too.
No doubt. So Country Day is now 6-0. Newman is 5-1. Newman came in with a 17-game regular season winning streak. The last time they lost in the regular season was 2 years ago at Country Day. They fall here tonight on their home field to the Cajuns by the final of 35-31. Lon, it's been a pleasure. We need to do this one again if we can get another one like this.
This was fun. I was glad to be here. I appreciate you having me. Great high school football. It's what high school football is all about right here.
No doubt.
Friends, rivalry.
Yep.
Kids who've known each other since they were little kids running around in diapers. Coaches knowing each other. I mean, great football. Love it.
No doubt. For Lon Elzey, for Chip Merritt, our producer, for Matt Merritt, bringing you all the great pictures on camera, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. Remember, we'll have full post-game coverage for you, plus a replay, or you can watch it all here at CrescentCitySports.com. Until next time, so long, everybody.